up, coat racks, and painted the outside today, the outside wall. So I just finished second coat of paint on it. So it's just drying right now. Oh, we should be good for. Now I got to paint the rest of the bedroom, but anyway, that's besides the point. But,
Yeah, but that should be pretty easy once you get the hard part done.
well, the problem is, my whole bedroom suite goes wall to wall. At the back, I got stands on both sides, plus the headboard and all, and it's up high, and I got all kinds of covered space in there. But anyways, they in order to do that wall,
Laura's first, Paul.
in order to do that, I had to tear it apart to get in there. But it won't take too much. I think it only slides in there. I don't think it's bolted. If it is bolted, it's only a couple of screws. Who'd you say? Somebody out of England or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, Laura, you're simply the best. You're right. You're right there. So my supper is just being cooked right now. I got about 5 more minutes and it should be done. I'm just going to do the nuggets and fries tonight because I'm tired. Working all day. Oh, Paul, by the way, I said I'll be back in a few minutes because I went and called the internet people.
Yeah.
You know what time I got off?
What time?
11:30.
Wow.
I left about 9:30. I talked to 3 different people today. Then the last lady, she's a little on the snarky side, but then she kind of mellowed out. But she said, well, they're doing all this. Why'd they change that? I don't know. Ask your tech guys. So now she's trying to blame me for it all. She said I got too much electronics, probably sucking the life out of her. I said, what I got is they could have 2 to 5 people in the household and stream and all that stuff. And it's just me here. You're telling me I should, and she's trying to sell me to go upgrade to freaking 500 down. Oh, it'd be a lot better for you. But the upload will only be 30 still. That won't change. And I got to go from $70 to $108. So $38 more to go up to the next step now. I just said,
yeah. Oh, yeah. They're always trying to sell you something.
Oh, yeah. I've had it up. I ain't playing with it anymore.
What was that little rant you were going on about your internet? What happened?
I was on for 2 hours. But with these people, I went through 3 different people. First guy was trying to get me to get the logs off the thing there. We're having a little bit of trouble. Oh, then boop, I don't know, he hung up on me or what the hell happened. So anyways, then I got a call back and I go through all the rigmarole to get somebody else. Now I got to explain it all over again. And I was getting a little irate. Oh, what do you want to do? You want to discontinue our service or, I just go, no, I want it fixed.
And tell them you want compensation for the month and a half you've been fucking around with it. I'll tell them you want a 3-month service.
Apparently, they're having power issues with the internet here in St. Thomas now.
Wow.
I don't know. Let it go for a while. I'm tired of fighting. I'll do what I do it again.
That's what I did with Spectrum a few years back. We had a whole month of our first month we were ever hooked up with them. We were having constant issues. I called up and I freaking bitched them out so bad that somebody from corporate called me.
Yeah.
And they gave me 2 months of free service over it. They were like, because I told them, I said, this is how you treat new customers. I said, I've been with you my first month with you guys, and my internet has been out for off and on for 2 weeks straight out of that first month. I said, this is ridiculous. And they ended up giving me 2 free months of service because of it. I didn't have to pay the first 3. I didn't have to pay the first month, and then they gave me 2 additional months.
But anyways, I get this lady on after this other guy because he was confused. Anyways, she says, I'm looking at your system right now. She says, your router's not working. I'm not getting nothing through the router. I said, no, the other guy had me disconnected. Oh, why do you do that?
Exactly what they say, Nunya. Can you unplug your router and count to 10 for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already did that 14 frickin' times. It didn't work.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you do. It's actually good to do that about once a week.
Yeah.
Unplug your router and reset your internet. I do that once a week here at the house. I go and I unplug it and I let it completely go dead and then I do a complete reboot. As it gives you a fresh signal to the system every time. What's up, Laura, Nunya, Joe? Guess Matt finally got back to work.
Did he?
Yeah, I saw him, I fell asleep early last night, but I got up around midnight and I missed Lloyd's show. And I saw Matt was on there and he said that he finally went back to work. He had been off for almost 2 weeks, I think, because of his back.
Hey, Captain Joe, how you doing? None your biz.
Hey, Nanya. How come you retracting everything you're saying?
I think
Oh,
he's learning from
Yeah.
Jake.
hold on. I gotta show you guys something. Let me find it real quick and then I'll show it to you. Come on, where's that channel at?
Nunya said misspellings. Sarah.
Wrong button.
Sarah says, unlike Matt, she worked through her back pain.
Yeah, look at this, Paul. All news in Canada will be removed from Facebook and Instagram within weeks. They're having a big argument with the government over here.
Wow.
They want them to pay money for links to other news channels.
Oh, where the hell is
Yeah,
this?
Beer, right here. I had a Gracie barking something. Well, hang on, my supper might be ready.
Okay.
What was the name of that channel?
So Justin, what's new with you?
Not much. That's not it.
Terry, did you do anything to receive that you'll be checking back for the Bradshaw?
Come on. All right, let me go back here. See if I can find that damn person in their chat. No, it was farther back than that.
So welcome everybody in the chat and everybody out there that's watching. It's Tuesday evening here. And we should be on for maybe close to a couple hours anyway. Now, Justin, are you going on later?
Probably not. I don't know. I
Okay.
need to though. I haven't really done a whole lot the last couple days. Where the fuck is that?
Well, if you should put the word out if you're going to do it, because then people would definitely come over and check you out. Tim Jackson's got the eyeballs going. I don't know what emoji that is that Nunya put up there. Kind of a green slime thing or something. I don't know what that is in the chat.
Uh,
Oh, Sarah says you need to spend time with her. Well, you know how you resolve that, Justin, is you have her sit in a seat right next to you and the two of you do a live show together.
yeah, right. She won't go on camera.
Why?
She just
She's
not her
very
time.
intelligent. She's very well spoken. She'd be a great co.
Oh, I'd love to do a show with her, but she won't do it.
Come on, Sarah. You can do it. You know, even if you just popped in and on or went about your business, come back and jumped in the chair right next to Justin.
Does anybody know what the name of that channel was, that Jennifer channel? Anybody?
Which one?
Hold on, let me go back in my.
You mean Wild and Crazy Jennifer?
Yeah. I got it. Hold on. What?
Come on, Sarah.
Here we go.
What are you doing? Giving Justin shit again or what?
Well, Sarah says that Justin needs to spend time with her, and I says, well, you should just get another chair and you spend time with Justin on stream.
So check this out. I ran across this today because I was doing some more investigating of this channel. What does this say? Bruh, Paul Murray, am I in timeout? And they posted a video of you deleting her messages. If the I really think this is that other dude, because all the videos on here are like a bunch of the videos that actually shows people in the videos are all Asian people,
Yeah,
and the videos that are real videos and not the roadblocks videos are actually, like I said, they're always in Asian countries, Asian. The YouTube says that the channel is out of Japan, but yet it's some white chick who's a captain on that's
well,
26 year
she's
old.
not a captain because I contacted both of the cruise, the shipping lines. And they never heard of her.
No,
No, she
that's
didn't.
why I know that. That's
She-
why.
I said that right from the beginning.
Hey, Rod.
Yeah, I remember you
Howdy.
saying that. That's why I've been digging into it because I found it kind of funny. What's up, Tim?
The virtual captain.
Yep. In her own mind.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's a girl. I think it's that William dude.
I think so too.
Because the couple of videos that shows the hand, they show their hands in the video,
Yeah.
showing stuff. It looks like a dude's hands.
Yeah.
But you didn't see one picture of the actual ship.
No,
And then she would jump and ship from one ship to another one. Then he's going, how the hell did you do that? They're both.
And it's not even the same
Even
company. She
before.
would jump and ship from one to another.
no, it's somebody that didn't know exactly what they were talking about and they were trolling.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I really think it was that William dude. I don't even think it's a girl.
The day and age of being an idiot just because you can on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, it's like an Indian scammer, you right? They always give like themselves the most widest name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Justin McAfee from Detroit. No, the fuck you're not. Like they do. They always give themselves like most widest American name. And it's like, yeah, okay, buddy. Fuck out of here.
Hey, where's Dominic?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on over there with the football stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
he
know
was
if
on
that-
there this morning, wasn't he?
That
Well, I
one,
think he was on last night with the football, late stuff.
you mean footy,
Yeah, footy.
not the World Cup. The World Cup stuff. The knockout rounds are in Australia this weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about it is I asked him. I said, "Are you watching the girls' football from Australia?" He says, "Oh yeah, a little bit here and there." What? I thought he was big into what we call soccer and they call footy ball.
Well, fair, unfair. Women's sports don't have the draw.
Well, that's what exploded that whole one lady's argument about why the soccer
Should
player
equal
check.
the equal pay thing. Yeah.
Yeah, why am I not getting paid $100 million contract? Because that's all your team made last year for your entire league. I was like, that's why you're not getting $100 million contract. Where the guys' team brought in over $1 billion. That's why
Yeah.
they're getting paid more. Like I said, unfortunately, women's sports just doesn't get the same publicity, and it's not as popular as men's sport.
If it drew as many people on TV as the others did, they
Sure.
get paid the same.
There's no we in that, Tim. The Australians call it footy. Now we call it footy. Traitor.
Well, I feel sorry for Tim because he's a little confused. He's not sure exactly where he lives, whether that makes him an American or an Australian, because he's got so much time in both locations,
He's an earthling.
That's it. I
We
don't
call it football, Tim.
I was wondering though, he was talking to an ex-wife or girlfriend that he was moving back here, was gonna come and see, and we haven't heard anything more about that, Justin.
Well, that was something he was looking into probably after he retired, though. He's still got another couple years. He was talking about just doing some traveling.
Oh,
What him and Lynn wanted to do was like come and visit both areas. Lynn wants to go over there and visit, and then they want to go over to Lynn's and visit. But that's something like that would most likely be discussed when they're both actually retired and in their golden year type, Neither one of them are there yet.
well, there's something to be said about being the golden years, because that's all you do is you take the gold out of your pocket and you put it on the table.
Like I said, neither one of them are quite there yet. They still got a few years.
I want a small RV for a home for my drones, so I can just drive around and go fly.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I would like to do eventually. I'd like to get a small RV and travel.
Don't want a big one because you can't get the big ones everywhere. So kind of a small, medium.
like a good sized van with the bubble top on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got these, I was looking at some of the Mercedes splitter vans,
Yeah.
like the off-road style ones with the big wood tires and shit. Oh my God, dude, they got some nice ass ones with full bathrooms and everything in them now.
Oh yeah. Mercedes is the Mercedes camper vans.
Yeah, the one I was looking at had a full bathroom. It had like a full setup kitchen,
Yep.
and then it had a pull down. It was like a Murphy bed that came down right by the sliding door. It would come down, and it was also a big 4-person table too when the bed was up.
Sarah was teasing Tim, and Tim, I don't think he liked it very much.
Yeah, I'd love to get a small RV.
Used. They're as bad as boats as far as dropping in value.
Oh, yeah. There's always RVs out there for sale.
Oh, Lynn's got one for sale.
Lynn's got 2 of them. I don't know which one she's selling, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely wouldn't want like a big ass motorhome like the Class A, but
Only if you pulled something behind it to use.
I'd probably do it as big as a Class B, but probably not anything bigger than that. I don't want like a freaking full on bus size motorhome. I mean, it just gets more expensive too. The bigger you get, the tires are more expensive, the maintenance.
well,
Mhm.
and it's harder to get it into smaller places. You
I'm
know,
talking a bus size SUV, like it's the size of like a Greyhound bus. You're probably talking what, $6 grand for new tires, if not more.
yeah.
Anytime you need to put new tires on it,
There you go, Justin.
probably talking $1,200 a tire, easy.
This is in Marketplace,
Yeah, something like that's not bad.
Mercedes.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's amazing how damn expensive those Class Bs are, though.
Yep.
You can buy a Class A for that money.
Now they did have that one Class A that we were looking at on here not too long ago, and it had a full garage in the back that the whole master bedroom lifted up, and they actually fit a smart car in there. And then you could bring the car out when you stop places and park. You bring the smart car out and then you lower the bedroom down. I thought that was really cool. And the smart car matched all the interior of the RV and everything. It was really cool looking.
Yeah.
Well, it was like $1 million+ too, though. But I thought that was a really good idea because you don't have to pull nothing behind you. And a smart car is small and compact, so it's like perfect for, a couple. When you park, you can get into that and go about your business, go out to eat, go get groceries, whatever you need to run and go do.
Well, here's a fixer up for you, Justin. Green shear.
A fixer-upper, really?
Yeah. Well, look at the price. It's $1,000.
More like target practice.
An old Dodge.
Yep.
I mean, I guess if you had the money to dump into it,
I-
you really
if you-
wanted to fix it up.
If you had the ability, right, to
Yes,
do it
yeah,
yourself,
if you
that
could
would
do
be
it
fine.
yourself, yeah.
You
You
know,
probably could fix that up for $3, $4, $5,000, you know?
$1,000 for that actually is not bad, depending on if you think the shell of that thing is fixable.
It's all fiberglass.
Right. Well, it depends on how much rust it's been, what kind of
Yeah,
environment it's
no,
been in.
obviously.
It's been sitting there a couple of years.
It's the engine and the transmission.
7
or
years
anything,
they
you know.
parked it there.
Yeah. I wouldn't touch that with a 100-foot pole.
But what-
Oh, in Michigan?
Wait,
Ugh, yeah.
Date that, say, I'll come get it for $500, you know? But you'd have to be mechanically inclined and be young.
Go buy
Yeah.
a used highway coach. Like over here, we got all kinds of them. You can buy big diesel pushers. All the room you'd ever want. You could live in one of those things. Converted it over.
Yeah, but the problem is they're too big.
Oh, that would be perfect right here. That's not too big and that's a little beefy son of a bitch.
Oh, hey, there you go. That's a little
Yep,
off.
there you go. Yeah.
How
Nice
much money?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying the look.
It's
got
four-wheel
nice-
drive. It's got a dip on the front end, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a nice off-road package. It's semi-compact.
where are you gonna go off-road with that?
Well, I'm just saying, some people like to take, mountain roads up in the mountains to random.
You know, here in
Off-road
Florida, there are
trips.
places where it's dirt sand roads to the boat docks.
Yeah, there are. And that sand that you get into
But-
from orange groves,
Yeah,
look, if you only got a 4x4. Because I'll tell you what, the orange groves around here, that sand is very deceiving. It will look hard and compact, but the minute you drive into it, your truck will just go right into the dirt and you'll just bury it. But that's something I'd like right there. Nothing, not too much bigger than that. That'd be perfect. Like I said, nice off-road package.
Hey, Lynn, how you doing?
Lenny.
What's up, Lynn?
All
I
right,
got that down here bugging me. Says she's hungry. I think it's a beagle.
Nothing wrong with dreaming, Lynn.
Okay.
I love watching the RV videos on YouTube when they do the tours of it and they show you the different layouts. Because I'm big on having a full bathroom. Like, I don't want one of those bathrooms where you share your shower with your toilet. No, I'm good. I'm not taking a shower with my toilet. Like, I want that
Yeah,
separated.
oh, you wuss. You should have been in the military.
I'm just saying, I would like it
You
separated.
know what my shower was? A 5-gallon water bucket. And we put it on the hood of the Humvee and tipped it over.
Ew.
Ooh. Ooh is when it's like 28 degrees outside and you're doing that shit. I had my staff sergeant give me hell one time. It was cold as hell outside. So I said, all right, you fucker, you're coming with me.
Well, that's my biggest thing, Lynn, is having a full bathroom. I actually like the ones where, so they had a van layout kind of similar to this van here. It was about that size. And they had the toilet on one side and the bathroom and the shower on the other side separated, 2 separate cabins.
runs,
I like it.
drives, excellent, low miles. He's $1,200, just listed it a day ago. It's
That
south of me.
seems a little cheap.
Let's see the inside. Pretty nice.
I don't know. That's something's up with that. Yeah, see, that's what I don't like right there. Go back. No, I'm not bathing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
my
yeah.
toilet.
That's
That's a ha-
normal. That's normal in something that size. That's not
Yeah.
bad.
I
That's
mean,
not
look,
bad.
look, that's pretty low price for quick sale. I always
no
kept it in the
shit.
garage. No rust, no
$1,200.
dents. Original paint.
That's better than buying an Air 3.
Yep.
I know, but that just seems
As-
too good. That seems too
It's
good. of
something
a-
to drive. Well, yeah, and it could be. I've heard lots of
That's gotta be
horror
some kind of
stories on the
scam.
marketplace kind of stuff, but you could find something. You could probably find something decent, but that's kind of the size of vehicle that I would like is something like that. That's more of a van, that's smaller to get into, or one of the smaller class Bs.
I've seen some guys do some really cool stuff with old U-Haul trucks and UPS and FedEx trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one a guy redid a FedEx
If you
truck. the
screw
other
up a
day.
little,
It was
Paul,
real
you
nice.
passed that one that was like $6,000.
Where?
Oh hell, that 157 right
Oh,
there.
$6,000
Stop.
one.
Yeah, right below your mouse. Stop. Well, actually, $3,000
19.
for that. That's a Toyota though. No, the one to the right and down one. Down one road to the right. Down.
No,
One
go
road.
straight down.
Straight. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right.
green and white one.
There.
Right there.
That's a
Yeah, but
Ford.
that's good size.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
take a look
good
at the
size.
inside.
And it's Ford, which means it's got a good motor.
In Indiana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Joe. That's way too. Yeah, the wet baths, so that's what they call them. Yeah, I'm not about the wet baths. But like I said, I have seen some of the Mercedes Sprinter vans.
I mean,
No,
for
That's
no
safe.
pictures of the inside.
yeah, that makes you wonder a little. But I mean, for $6,000, yeah. But that one's a little too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I really like that one. I was just looking at the one I showed a minute ago. That was like perfect size. It was a little bit shorter than that, but had that really beefy off-road package on it. I like that. Cause you really could, like, if you went up in the mountains, you could really go off some
Oh, there you
off-road
go.
trails
$7,000 Ford Winnebago.
and explore a little bit.
You know that sucker's old.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Uh-uh.
I mean, come on. I just need something to throw my drones in and drive around. Go places so I can go fly. And not necessarily be massive in size.
Sad to let it go, they
You
said.
can build a launch tube out of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you fly the drone
Yeah,
right up out of the roof.
exactly. Yeah.
Now you have to get out
build
of the
a
damn
build a
RV.
ladder, you cut it, and put a door in the roof. Yeah.
Yeah, see, these other ones are too big, I think.
Yeah.
That's about the
What-
size. That's
and
the
what-
size.
So
that
so
Lynn-
Justin, you know what would be interesting about that? All the
What?
state parks where you can't take off or land, right?
Right.
If you take off from the top of your RV, are you technically
I
in the
don't
state
know.
park? That,
I don't
it's an interesting fucking question. Now, something that size,
You mean this size right here?
that one you just had for like 4,500.
Oh, hell no, that's too much.
Well, it's a
also
regular
too much
bus.
maintenance. Yeah, that's a regular bus. That's too much maintenance.
Yeah, cause you're talking dual tires on the rear, the single tire in front of the dually, and then the tires in the front. That's probably 12 grand worth of tires right there. No, I'm good. That's kind of a small shower for that big of RV.
That 4,500 one
Right here?
to the right. Oh, that one too, actually. No, the one to the right of this one was
Okay.
actually a little smaller.
That's
What's up,
right here.
Dominic?
Yeah, that one. That Coachman.
Look at
Coachman's
it.
a good brand too.
81. Holy crap, that's an oldie.
Yeah. But size wise, that's about right. Right? Not too big, not too small.
We got some leaks and stuff, you know?
Yeah, you'd expect it in something.
Look at the
that
rust.
fucking old.
Yeah, look at the bottom of that door, the driver's side door. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing
My
definitely needs some Bondo
my point is size wise, that's about the
This
right
one,
size.
this one there, look at that door.
Yeah.
work. Yeah, it would definitely need some body and Bondo work for sure.
Now, see, now you're getting up into the big ones here.
No, that one might not be. Look at the side picture if they have one, I presume.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
That's not bad either. That's probably about as big as I'd want to go.
And it's got a back pop out too,
Mm-hmm.
probably for the
That's
bedroom to
nice.
give you more room.
70
That is
grand,
nice.
but It's nice. Oh, it's Store Motor. They're my customer.
Yeah, it's
And-
real nice, isn't it, Rod? Super nice. Best that was ever
Yeah.
made.
I don't know. There's lots of things that you look at that I can go, that's my customer.
There's the layout.
Yeah,
No,
that's pretty standard. I guess Dominic came in, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's Dominic.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm late.
I really like that one I was looking at though.
I don't know.
I love that beefy off-road package it had on it.
Here you go if you're gonna drag one.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
old Airstream. That's a big
Air-
Airstream too.
Airstream was the one.
That was
thing.
the shit.
Oh, they still make,
Yeah, they still
Trailers,
make
too.
good stuff.
but you know what's cool about the Airstreams is usually in the front where those big bay windows are, they put a really nice, like almost full kitchen table there. So you get a really nice view around right there.
That's a,
I've seen some- There's the bullet holes. That was when it was a meth lab.
Here you go. That 5200 for that 93 Ford.
Which
Oh,
one?
Straight
yeah,
up.
Yeah, right
So
there.
you're to your right,
The 1993 Ford
up,
E350.
right there, right there. It's in that same size. That's Class B. Just not a gigantic one.
Yeah, I know, Lynn. I'm sure that one that I was looking at was probably way expensive. But if I had the money to buy an RV, that I would, that's definitely what I would be looking at though.
Wow, 15 grand.
Cause that's one.
That
you
one
could
actually,
real-
that one actually looks pretty nice, Paul.
Tioga.
Yeah, I like the size of that.
Looks in good shape. It's probably a little bigger than I would
A
want.
lot of storage down below.
Lot of storage down below.
Yeah.
But Lynn, the one I was looking at though, I really think
Got an
something like
onboard
that
generator.
is really good for
Oh, right.
off-roading.
There's the inside photos.
Shit, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Not
it's a
Bad at
little-
all.
Little dated, but not bad. I'd definitely update the seat cushions and the couch.
Nah,
Oh, come
I like the cushion.
on.
That's
Nah,
super
the
dated. It
cushions
looks
are
like,
good.
it looks like 80s or 90s.
What's wrong with that?
Saying, I would just update a little bit on the inside.
Put new
It's
wallpaper in the
got its
bathroom.
own separate shower.
Mm.
Yeah, the big ones always do. And that's one of the bigger ones.
But for 15 grand, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
That's
good.
That's what they're asking. You can probably talk them down.
That's reasonable for somebody who's retirement and doesn't want to like blast a gazillion billion dollars into an
Right.
RV to just, you know, putter around with.
What's this one?
Kind of one of those good enough camper van.
Mm.
Just a sleeper van kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is beefy as shit right here. Oh, wow. These are some serious off-road campers.
Here's 24.
That's an old military truck.
you need an old army ambulance, change it over.
Anyways,
Mm.
my point is if you want to do RVs, go find something older that's cheaper that you're
Yes,
not
some old
spending an
retirees-
arm that you're not
Some
spending
old
an arm and a
retirees are
leg.
getting
What-
rid of just because they're not using it.
Right, exactly. Go buy one that's
If you're
already
gonna do it,
lost.
it's worth overdoing.
Yeah, here you go.
Go get the one that's already depreciating.
Boy,
Yeah. Leave it to Justin to find the
Look-
If
look
it's
at
worth
that.
doing, it's worth
oddball.
overdoing.
You know that thing's
That's
probably
more like it.
$300,000.
Yeah.
That actually looks like a drone command center. Not even gonna lie.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Center,
mind one
sure.
of those. Yeah.
But see,
That's-
this is, well, here's my point on something like this, right? Is you're clearly buying a camper that's designed for, I know that they'll try to sleep 62 people in there, but
Mm,
it's really designed for maybe 2 at the most. Get rid of that and give yourself some more space in there. Get rid of the back seat. Like you don't
Yeah.
need 4 seats in there.
Well, I'm sure that you could tell them how you want it custom made for you, you know?
mm.
Okay, let's see here.
Lynn wants to know if you ever owned any RVs, Rod.
No. So anyways, I want to share. Remember how I was talking about AkiSync 4 and what they did with AkiSync 4? Here's here's MadTex. I don't know if I'm sharing the audio or not. But
If you check the boxes, you are.
maybe I did check the box. Hang on, let me stop sharing. Let me go back. Screen share. Oh, share sound. There we go.
Yeah.
Dope.
Just
That's what you
click
gotta
both
use.
boxes.
And optimize. There. I'll do both.
Mm.
So you can look at the spec sheet here, right? Here's
Yeah.
their SDR.
Yeah.
03 has the 1, the 10, the 20, and the 40. They added they added 3 and 5 in the 04.
Yeah.
And just the thing to understand here, this is the carrier width. So 40
Hmm.
megahertz is 50 megabits a second, generally in FPV world. 20 megahertz is 25 megabits. 10
Yeah.
is about 14 megabits on 03. And 1.4 is the RC control link. That isn't
Yeah.
used for video, that is just used for the RC control.
Mm.
Now, what's really interesting is they've added 2 new modes, 3 megs
Yeah.
and 5 megs.
Mm.
And it's going to be really interesting to see the effect of them because you're only going to have 3 and 5. I
So
think they're gonna
effectively
be
what-
video.
Yeah, so effectively what they did, right? This is how they went from 15 kilometers to 20 kilometers, right? They downgraded the throughput.
Yeah.
As it gets farther away, then they go to a lower band and try to push less data so that they can get farther away because they can't actually crank the wattage up.
Mm.
They're legally limited to 4 watts.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they
it makes
can't
you
do any-
wonder-
they can't do anything with that.
Well, it
My
makes you
point
wonder how.
is though 03, the new shit should be 100% compatible and work with 03 as well.
Mm.
It's like Bluetooth 4.0 and Bluetooth 5.0 or come on, you can put a USB 2.0 thumb drive and a USB 3.0 port, right?
Yeah.
This
But
is
not the other way around.
this is no different, right? This is literally this is kind of literally no different. So the compatibility thing, if DJI comes out and says some muckety muck crap about, they're full of shit. That's all I
Yeah.
got to say.
Well, how many
There's
variations?
zero
can-
reason there's zero reason that you can't use an 03 controller to fly that 04 drone.
Well, my question is if they can't up the wattage, how many more variations can they really do? Is it gonna be an OcuSync
At some
5
point,
that-
it hits a physical. At some point, it's just going to hit a physical limit.
Yeah.
They can add as many channels as they want to add. It's
They
just
can
gonna
just hit, they're going to hit the wall sooner or later.
And keep in mind, he's showing the 2.4. There's the same in the 5.8. The funny part of it is the 5.8 range has less range.
Yeah.
The higher the frequency, the less range you have. This goes back to our 5G discussion yesterday, Justin. That the real throughput on 5G is in such a high frequency. It's such a high frequency that its range is only like 3/4 of a mile. So this is what they did with 04. They added 2 extra antennas and 1 extra receiver. Okay, whatever. Blah blah blah. They're essentially multi-threading it, which is fine. It's not like it's a new technology. It's not like it hasn't been around forever. I mean, we've been doing it since we invented the parallel cable for
Yeah.
printers. As far as getting bits across 2 different wires to arrive at the other end at the same time.
Mm.
and reassemble them so that they look like something the computer would understand. So it's not like it's rocket science or new technology
Well,
in
I'm curious
any
how
way
many,
or any way, shape, or form.
I'm curious how many more variations they can call it before it does hit a brick wall.
Before it doesn't matter anymore and they can't get any
Yeah.
more out of it, they're probably getting really damn close.
That's probably why they did the OcuSeek 3.3 plus, because they were trying to stretch it out more, you know?
Yeah.
Watch, they'll come out with like an OcuSeek 4 plus and it's gonna be a
And
slight
obviously-
variation.
Yeah, and they added the second receiver, which means there is some upsides to that, right? So if you have a 2.4 transmitter and a 5-point transmitter, you get two different physical transmitters pushing the data at the same time. Now you still have the problem of assembling that communication on the other end, depending on what it is. But by having two, you're doubling your bandwidth, right? It's like putting two NIC cards in a server. You're kind of doubling your bandwidth kind of thing. So that's all fine and dandy, but range wise, no, just the fact that they went down frequency tells you that there ain't much left, right?
No, we still haven't heard anything from David AZ about how he's doing with his new drone.
Anyways, I wanted to here. Let me I'll put it on the YouTube chat. Put the link to that Mad Tech video. Now let me find the other one. Oh, yeah, it was Pilot Institute.
Yep.
Greg's Air 3 review.
Uh,
Yeah, you're right, Captain Joe.
Mm.
Anyways, I really wanted to show people that Mad Tech thing to show that 04, sure, it's an improvement. There's no reason why 04 and 03 can't be compatible. The bandwidths for 03 are still there. So it's not like the stupid thing couldn't talk across that protocol. So if DJI even kind of goes sideways about the compatibility issue, we all need to get guns and just shoot their asses. Okay. I don't think I'm exactly on the part. Anyways, this is what Greg at Pilot Institute used to do, and it's in studio. So he used the Air 3, the Mini 3 Pro, the Air 2S, and the Mavic 3 Pro. And let me see if I can find. Yeah, he did that test, which was not bad, but there was one test that he showed that I just kind of wondered. Is it
what are we
this one?
looking at?
This one. This was the test. So he's using a fixed board with colors and symbols and all that kind of stuff to sort of test with. So this is one area that was on that fixated board. By the way, people who do this for professional testing of cameras like DP Review do shit like this. That's one of the reasons I really, really liked what Greg did in this video, because I don't care about the other drone guys. What Greg did was what a camera guy would do on a fixed thing to show the difference between the fucking cameras. And the Air 3 has a problem. And this is the slide or the shot that shows that it has a problem. And it makes me wonder, basically what it tells me is they have some tuning that they need to do with that stacked sensor. Stacked sensors give you better light and are faster, which means you get less noise in the picture. Should get less noise in the picture on the exact same sensor. With me so far?
Yeah.
So if you look, so this is the Air 3. What we're looking at here is kind of the center one here. See that color? That's a chromatic aberration. That shouldn't be there. That's noise because of the sensor size. So that's the Air 3. Over here on the right is the Mini 3 Pro. It is just a little bit worse. And then here's the Air 2S and here's the Mavic 3. Larger sensor, larger sensor. So what I'm worried about is that this fucking stacked sensor, which should have had probably zero noise in it, had noise in it. So as good as all those guys out there go, oh, as good as that camera, oh, this looks great. Yeah. Okay, I don't disagree. I'm sure it looks great to the eyeball. And I realize I'm sort of nitpicking here, but I like what Greg did in his test. This is real world test. And there were a bunch of other things in here where he went, see, this camera's as good as the bigger sensor. Great. I'll be the first guy to go about goddamn time they give us stacked sensors, because I'm the guy that's been yelling and screaming that they've been screwing us on our cameras because they haven't given us any of the newer tech. Come on. It took Autel doing the RYYB to give us not a 20-year-old sensor tech.
Well, let's face it, most of the people that are claiming that it's such a good picture and everything, they're only going by the fact of what the spec sheet says, and then because it's the newest drone, they're just gonna say it's the best looking.
Yeah. I know. And on YouTube,
But they're not actually
if you post an Air 3 video and post a Mavic 3 video and a Mini 3 video and put them all side by side, everybody's gonna all go, they all look good. And that's what I've been saying for a long time. We've fucking plateaued for the most part. That from here on out, whatever improvements are there are going to be pretty minuscule. The stack sensor should be a big win. Where it's going to be a big win is in low light nighttime shots. But my worry on that Air 3 with that stack sensor is, keep in mind that the Air 3 and the Mini 3 Pro both have 1/1.3s sensor size. And they both exhibited this chromatic aberration noise in the picture. And the stack sensor should have probably had none. So reality is, I think they probably can make it even better. And remember, it's just released. They always update firmware. So
And I
that's
think
probably the good news. It should get even better.
I think most of these people aren't even buying it for the simple fact that they're really trying to keep up with everybody. I think they're buying it trying to get views with it.
Sure.
So like, I'll just buy every new drone that comes out, and I'm gonna put a bunch of videos out by it.
I love the fact that the Air 3's got that 3x telephoto on it. It's still got the f2.8. I don't get it. When the other one's got 1.7, why can't you just make them both 1.7? Then you don't have no fucking issues with filters and having to monkey around with one filter being less dark than the other filter kind of crap. There's no reason that they couldn't put just a true telephoto lens on one singular camera. It's just them. Yeah. Never mind. I'll keep it to myself.
Well, and that's and I 100% believe you, Joe. Just photographers, they all have their own opinion on what they think is good looking. So it's not a problem. It's just everybody has their own artistic eye. They.
Now, are you going to see this noise that Greg did in a video that you do? Probably not. But I did want to show this off, that despite that stacked sensor with the 1/1.3 has noise in it that hopefully they can fix the noise. That noise shouldn't have been there with a stacked sensor. The 1-inch sensor on the Air 2S had none. Obviously the Micro Four Thirds had none. On that same little freaking square.
Well, and that's one of the very minute things you're getting to, Joe, with these upgrades is pretty much battery life. And a few little tiny upgrades with the camera systems. And if you
Hmm.
notice, that's the same exact things the cell phone companies are doing. You're
It-
not
it-
really getting faster applications.
Yeah.
You're not getting faster anything. It's just they tweak the cameras a little bit. They give a little bit bigger battery and a little bit better.
We
fast
have
charge a little better.
plateaued for sure. We have definitely plateaued on
Now, if
what
these
we're
co-
going to get.
now say Samsung decided, you know what, we're gonna wait 3 years and we're gonna not put nothing out for the next 3 years. You're just pretty much gonna be stuck with. Then when they came out with something in 3 years, it would probably blow you away because that would have time to really
Hmm.
build the technology up to where it would be a huge upgrade when you went 3 years from now and bought a new Samsung. But they're putting these phones out and technology out so quickly that that technology doesn't have time to really build up to really show you a significant difference.
You know, the answer is even between generations of processors these days. On the high end, you might on the high end, and this is under specific application scenarios, high end, you might get 5% improvement. Is it worth it? Probably not.
Oh, no, unless
No,
you're
for
just
the
gonna-
amount you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, by all means, if you got the money and you just want to blow it and you got it like
Oh yeah,
that,
no, no,
do it.
that was something
But for
else.
your
I was gonna
average consumer, no, I wouldn't do it.
That was something else I was going to say about all this. God bless them. The people that can afford it and are enjoying it, God bless them. Good for you. I'm not knocking anybody that goes and gets that thing and goes, hey, I love this thing. Great. That's what droning's about, right? If you can afford to buy 20 drones and you like all of them, more power to you.
But like the guy working at McDonald's or the gas station,
Those are the
doesn't
ones
need
that are going to have to make choices. And so,
those guys don't need to go out and blow their,
nope.
it's 2
Nope.
or 3 months worth of pay every time a new cell phone comes out. That's when you
Nope.
sit on that phone for at least 2 years minimum before you even think about upgrading.
Should be at least 3 or 4.
I usually upgrade about every 3 years.
You might as well do 4 or 5 now. There's so little difference.
But going from I did have an iPhone XR, and then I went back to Android and I got the S22, and to me that was a huge upgrade.
Yeah, because it has the 200 megapixel camera.
well, and then the quick charging, it was fucking cool. I mean, this
Or
phone
no.
charges so
That one
damn
doesn't
quick.
have that one doesn't have the 200. The 23 has the 200.
It's the ultras that have the 200.
Not in the 22s, the 23s. The
Mine-
23s had
Mine
the
has the
200.
50 megapixel.
Yeah, that's the 50. I got that phone for my daughter for Christmas, the 22 Ultra.
But like I said, for me having that iPhone XR for 3 years, I noticed a significant upgrade as far as charging, battery life, how fast it processed stuff. Even though it was a different platform, I noticed a huge difference, but that was, 3 years of me having the same phone.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to knock the Air 3, right? That's just showing something that Greg saw, and I kind of scratched my head going, okay, with the stack sensor, I wouldn't have expected the noise to be there because of being a
Mhm.
stack sensor. So I guess on the upside, cross fingers for everybody, DJI can improve the noise reduction on that sensor, right? With the stack that, hopefully they got a little more tweaking and tuning to do to make it even better than it is that everybody's talking about. Great.
Well, we'll see it. We'll see that change when the Air 3S comes out.
Yeah. The other interesting part that's kind of interesting to hear too is, because now I have the 3X in the camera. I don't need the Mavic 3 Pro anymore, but these were the same folks that when the Mavic 3 came out with that 7X that were all hyping the 7X telephoto lens and and I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of the hype.
I got a
And-
question for you guys. And it has to do with cell phone service, which we all use, right?
Mhm.
Mint Mobile has been pushing hard, $15 a month, unlimited.
Right? Okay.
I'm paying $60 a month.
Yeah, you gotta read the fine
Obviously
print on
can't.
that and see when it goes up.
Well,
it
either
says
that or it actually you're limited on your internet capability.
Or the speed. Could be
Or
a,
the
a
speed.
speed
unlimited
throttle.
talk and text, high-speed data, free calling to Mexico and Canada, free mobile hotspot,
Yeah,
instant.
but
But you know,
Let's-
the speed. Here's the deal on the speed, guys. Seriously. What do you use the phone for? If all you're doing is texting and a little email,
Mm,
who the fuck cares what the speed is? 3G is fast enough to do that crap.
mm,
Seriously. Is he trying to do live streams across it? Okay, then he needs
you
you
get
know,
to-
the big high speed stuff. Most people don't freaking use the bandwidth.
well, I mean, it's still just good to know what your capability limitations are
Sure.
when you're purchasing a plan, though. That's all I'm curious about because I know for that cheap, there's got to be like 2 or 3 gigs of high speed or 5 gigs of high speed, and then it drops.
You know, you're burning your bandwidth sending pictures back and forth.
mm.
So if you send lots of pictures, okay, you probably could use the bandwidth. If you're not sending lots of pictures, who cares? Seriously, who cares?
But you also got to remember too, the Mint Mobile is not one of the big carriers. They're just piggybacking like, all the other, like the Family Mobile at Walmart, all these different mobile companies out there that are offering plans and phones and stuff. They're just piggybacking off of the 3 big guys,
And Joe,
AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon.
and Joe, I agree with you. Air 3, no doubt, Air 3 is a great drone. If you don't have a Mavic 3, or
Yeah.
if you were sitting, if somebody walked up to me today and goes, should I buy an Air 3 or a Mavic 3 Pro? And there's kind of a reason I want to have this conversation. I'd tell them buy the Air 3.
Well, it's a
The
big
reason-
price difference.
Screw the price. Screw the price. It's about what are you going to use the drone for? I got the Mavic 3 Pro for a very fucking specific targeted set of things that I wanted to use it for. And for me, that was for the rocket launches. So having 3X and 7X to video the rocket launches is important. I need that 7X. I need that range because I can't get any closer than about 13 miles on the launch pad.
And you got to explain to them, Rod, that the simultaneously they record the same thing and you pick what you want to use, right?
No, you pick
Awesome.
and then hit record is to
Oh,
which
it
camera
doesn't
you're-
record.
It
both.
doesn't record, but no. That's too much bandwidth to the card. So
Yeah.
it's not doing that. But my point is all of these things are so good now, and the cameras are so good. Take your pick. It's about your use case, right? What are you going to use it for as to what you need?
Mm.
Honestly, I
That
wouldn't
makes
buy it.
sense.
Honestly, I wouldn't buy it for professional work though, because I don't think it's quite at that level.
The stack sensor is probably at that level.
But does it have the same?
Indoor real estate, I would 100%, I would pick that stack sensor over the
But
Mavic 3
Does it have
4/3
as?
sensor any day of the week.
Yeah, but do you have as many capabilities in your settings and menus and stuff as you do the Mavic 3?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, because I'm gonna assume that for them not to creep into the Mavic 3 line up to get people to want to buy the Air 3, it's going to be dumbed down a little bit compared to the Mavic 3. It's
It
got to
is.
have,
It's a small.
it's got to be
it
missing
is.
a lot
It's
of
a sm-
features.
It's no, it's not. Not missing any features at all. All the custom shots are there. Eventually, it's going to do the HDR that the Mavic 3 won't do. But that was always something unique to the Air range. Anyways, I liked it on the Air too. Seriously,
I just
Justin,
don't see how they could make a cheaper drone work better than something that's more expensive. To me, that's not smart business.
you don't have the
strategy,
seven.
though.
The two things. One, you don't have the 7X telephoto, so you don't have the 3. So compared to the 3 Pro, two, the Air 3 may be great in the wind. The Mavic 3 is going to be better. It's just a size. It's just a fucking size weight
The
thing.
beast.
Well, I wouldn't really compare it to the Pro. I'm talking more to the Classic because that's going to be its closest.
The Micro
competitor.
Four Thirds, that Micro Four Thirds sensor, wider field of view
And the only reason I'm
than
saying the
the
Classic
1/1
is 'cause
third.
that's going to be the closest one to the price range of the Air 3. That would be the one that would be most threatened by the Air 3 as far as price goes.
You know what I use my Mavic 3 Pro for the most?
You do this?
Believe it or not, photos and creating my own manual panos with it because the field of view is so wide on that Micro Four Thirds. I can basically take about 50% of the sky with 2 pictures.
The thing about it, if you're a Mavic 3 Classic person, you go out and spend $2,200-$2,300 on that drone, and then they come out with an Air 3 that's $1,500, does a better job. Wouldn't that, to me, that would kind of seem like people would get a little pissed off about that.
Yeah, in looking at Joe here, that is something that's in his comment that is, again, this goes back to what I said about your use case, right? The other piece of it is on the Mavic 3 Pro, you get 5.4K. So if you're a person who needs to shoot things and then punch in on the video, then the Mavic 3 is going to be your better option than the Air 3. If you're not doing any of that and you're just a pure freaking hobbyist, Air 3 is great. I'd buy that over the Mavic 3 any day of the week. Again, I bought my Mavic 3
My
Pro
God.
with a specific freaking reason in mind. And that was to have as much telephoto options as I could for the rocket launches. Again, people need to stop thinking about spec sheets and start thinking about what you're shooting and will it work for what you're shooting.
Well, then that's when the specs would come into play then.
No, yes,
mean,
yes and no.
Well,
We're at the point though that the specs don't change much.
well, and the thing of it is, Rod, is what the average person, I'm talking the average person, not you guys that are specializing in stuff.
They can
The
fly
average
mini
person-
too
the
and be
average
happy.
The average person, when he uploads a video to YouTube, it's going to look very similar because of the degradation of the
And here's another point of this. And all the drone guys love to oh, this is so much better than this or that or the other thing. You know, most of the people that are subscribed, I think most of the people that are subbed to my channel are my local surfers down the street that I videoed the surfing stuff. I think I got more locals out of Flagler Beach that are probably subbed to me than other people. And they're just looking at it for what it is, right? And they
Cool.
just go, hey, that looks great. They don't give a fuck
Yeah.
which drone it is. Excuse my language. They literally don't give a. And I could shoot it on I could shoot it on my Autel Nano. I could shoot it on my Elite or my Evo 2 Pro. I could shoot it on my Mavic 3 Pro. They wouldn't know the damn difference and they wouldn't care.
Yep.
And people need to start getting some of this in their head about,
It is what it is unless you have a specific thing you want to see and you want to see it in a specific layout.
Yes. Exactly. Now, the Mini 3 Pro. Why would you get the Mini 3 Pro? I got a really good answer for that. It does that damn vertical video. That's a use case, right? If you're a
Yeah.
person that does a lot of
Does
Instagram,
TikTok
TikTok,
and that kind of
and,
stuff,
and
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and you're producing content for that stuff, that speeds up your workflow because you don't have to do it. The drone freaking flips it and voila, you're good. That's a specific use case. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say is,
Good one, Wayne.
will it do what you need it to do for the reasons you need it to do it?
What am I going on about, Wayne? Alls I'm asking
Hmm.
is why would the Air 3, why would they make an Air 3 better than a Mavic 3 Classic? If the price is $600 to $700 difference in price, that doesn't mean then nobody's gonna want to buy their Mavic 3. All I was saying.
They're just
I don't
filling
see
in.
how
They're
that's
just
not a
filling.
good question.
Yeah, they're just filling in their line. You're right. The Mavic 3 Classic versus the Air 3. The Air 3 probably eats the Mavic 3 Classic sales.
That's what I was asking. Like if somebody bought the Mavic 3, I would see a lot of people having like buyer's remorse at that point because they get pissed off about it because something that's $600-700 cheaper is doing a better job.
Yeah,
And they're
but-
both fairly new drones. It's not like the Mavic 3 Classic is a 2-3-year-old drone.
But here's the
That would
point
make
I would
sense.
make, Justin, is you've got the Mavic 3 Pro in the air, and you got the Mavic 3 Mini in the air, and you got a couple of other drones. They're not all in the air at the same time, taking the exact same picture. So how do you discern which one is better? The average person doesn't fly multiple drones.
Well, I mean, it has nothing to do with which one's better. It's the price that they spent on it is my whole point. Because like I said, if it was a couple
How
hundred
about a
dollars
3S,
different,
Wade? Instead of a 4. Will you wait?
mean, you can-
It'd be interesting to see if they do an Air 3S next
you can
spring.
buy an Air 3 if you just want to buy one, Wayne. I don't care. Do what you want to do. I've said that before. I don't care what people buy.
Not the stack sensor. It's worth having because the stack sensor. The other thing that it makes it worth having, which is probably the biggest upgrade of the entire flipping drone, is the flight time. If you need that amount of flight time.
Yeah,
If you do hyperlapses, it's great. You need that flight time. So if you love doing hyperlapses, that's a freaking great drone for you. 100%. But again, that's me going back to what's your use case? What are you going to use it for? Do you need whatever the features are? Video quality wise, flip a coin. Nobody's going to know the difference for the most part. Except for low light. Now, give me that micro 4/3 or the 4/3 sensor with the stacked on the Mavic 4. Hell yeah, I'm going for that.
Hmm.
Because that's a big difference.
Paul, are you taking that apart?
Yep, it's garbage.
Well, wouldn't you put it out and let somebody use the damn thing?
It's got holes in it and big cracks across the back.
Yeah, but if nobody had one, they'd probably love it.
They're gonna burn it.
I'd rather see it burn.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the drone. I'm not knocking people to buy that drone. I think it's a great drone.
Hmm.
Nothing wrong with it, but it's just. If you're a hobbyist,
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
overkill.
I think is it really worth by the time you do the fly more, you're probably gonna have $2,000 in that drone.
Well, like I said, if
By the
you're
time you buy
upgrading-
the external chargers and, 1 or 2 more batteries besides the fly more batteries and you're gonna have $2,000 in that drone.
well, like I said, if you're upgrading from the Air 2, I could see the upgrade, but if you're
Oh,
already
yeah,
got an Air
yeah, from an Air
2S,
2.
if you got an Air 2S, I wouldn't upgrade right away. I would. I'd be like Wayne. I'd wait till the Air 4, Air 5 come out.
Again, it depends. It
S6.
depends on whether you, if you're making money, then it's probably worth the upgrade.
Well,
If
that's
you're
yeah,
just
that's a
a,
whole
if you're
different
just a
thing.
hobbyist, if you
Yeah.
have the money and you want to, great. Nothing wrong with it.
That'll be the S6 will be out by next Christmas, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what is the one that Kim Jackson is waiting for? The Phantom what?
Five.
Phantom 5.
He wants
Phantom
to see a
5.
Phantom 5.
And you know, here's a part of this discussion.
Mm.
Seriously. What do people think of that Phantom 4 V2 and the video that comes off of that? To this day, what do people say about that, have that drone, or look at the video that comes off that drone? They freaking love it.
Mm.
Even the video that produces now is freaking really good video.
I'd buy Phantom 5 in a hurry.
Paul Hodges is a Phantom
I
man. Always has been.
like I said, I think if they did come out with one, it would blow all
And
the
that's
other.
a 1 inch, and that's a 1 inch sensor
It's
on the
the,
Phantom 4.
it's the cult following that the Phantom has. It has a huge
Yeah.
cult following.
Hey, it's
And it
great
has
for
a-
hand catching. It's easy to
Yeah.
hand catch that one.
Yep.
And it has a unique, body style that
Yeah, no, agree. But my point is that drone's how old and been around how long, and yet still
Design-
produce,
it's
and
design's
yet
been
still,
around a long time.
and
At
yet
least 7 or 8
produce-
years.
and yet produces video that if you posted it on YouTube, that most people would still go, "Oh yeah, that looks great." People wouldn't look at it and go, "Well, that seems kind of dark or grungy," or they'd look at it and go, "Hey, that's great video." And that drone's how old, which goes back to my point about sometimes I hate some of the ooh rah latest crap. If you're making money off from it, 100%. Absolutely get the latest, greatest. That last 2% will be 2% more quality in the work that you do. 100% go do it. If you're just flying for fun, If you have the money and you want to, go for it. It's not a bad decision. It's not like you're getting a worse drone, right? It's a better drone. Just like an iPhone 14 is better than a 13. Is it that much better? We're
Depends
at
on
that
what you're doing with your phone.
Yeah. We're at that stage with the drones. We're at that stage where it's meh.
Yeah, the 13 was a bit of a flop anyway.
Okay, fine.
That
If you
was
have a
supposed to be
14, do you
No,
need to
see,
upgrade to the 15?
The
It seems the odd
13
numbers don't do well as the even numbers.
The
what I've seen.
13 was supposed to be the answer to the S23, but still had worse specs than the 22s then. As far as the cameras and everything.
I don't know. It's like World of Warcraft, Justin, since you're the gamer, right? The odd numbered expansions were always better than the even number expansions.
No, I'm agreeing. The 11
Well,
and the
that-
13 haven't been that good.
Well, that's why they rushed the 14 out so quickly because they were trying to get a phone that was comparable to the 23, but that was supposed to be the iPhone 13.
Mm.
And it just didn't, it was a newer phone, but still had less specs than the 22 did. The standard 22 at that.
But I think we're getting to the point where it's just like computers. Until the damn thing dies, I wouldn't worry about upgrading the drone.
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
Seriously, I've thought about this about 2 months ago, or shortly after I got the Mavic 3 Pro. I'm just like, I'm probably skipping 1 or 2 generations for sure before I buy another big honking one. I already feel like I did because I bought the Air 2, then I bought the Autel Evo 2 Pro, right? And then later on I got the Nano, and the Light Plus was just more of a toy than anything. So the next real upgrade after that Evo 2 Pro was the Mavic 3. And well, hell, that's 3 years later. So it's literally been 3 years between the large drones for me. And it'll probably be another 3 years before I even think about going to whatever's something past the Mavic 3 Pro. Will something be there in the Mavic 4 that I'll go, hey, I'd really love to have? Sure. Will I really need it? Probably not. There's only one thing that would make me upgrade. If they put 10x optical on it, then I'd buy it. Again, use case for my rocket launches. If it's not that,
What's up, Blue?
it's not worth the $2,000 to $3,000 to upgrade.
He destroyed it. He raged quit his live stream, Gitchy, and he went over there and destroyed it with a hammer.
Well,
Talking about Hodges's cabinet.
oh,
He raged quit the live stream earlier.
it was a screw gun, actually. It was all screwed together, wasn't it, Paul?
Look, I'm tired of looking at this shit in my background.
There's a big rack going in there outside. I painted it, so just got to bring it in, start putting it together.
Back to Captain Joe. I'm with him. If you don't have a Mavic 3, hell with it. Save your money, get the Air 3. It's good enough and will produce good enough. It's got the 3x optical. It's got outstanding battery time. Obviously, the connection with the 04 is good. Don't get the Mavic 3 anything, classic or pro or anything, unless you know why you're doing it. I guess going back to my earlier conversation.
Yeah, I'd get you. You bet. You missed it. I destroyed it. But it's like buying an Inspire 2. Like, why would you go and buy an Inspire 2 unless you're movie making or you got some high-end production shit you got to do?
Oh,
You know,
that's on.
Because you got extra pocket change or your Max Air and bought it for $900 and got such a steal on it that it was worth it.
That's a whole different level of spending money right there.
For the Inspire 3, yeah. Inspire 2, you could get cheaper than a Mavic 3.
Well, it's the camera and lenses will cost you a shit ton.
Well, yeah, but it's worth it.
Because the lenses alone will cost you $1,500 probably used. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 lenses for that camera.
For the Inspire?
For the X9, yeah, if you go with the X9 or the X7 camera for those.
I think that one will only do the X7 on the Inspire 2.
Those lenses are expensive. You'll spend $1,200-1,500 just for a used one.
That's cheap if you can get them.
Yeah.
When I had the Inspire, I spent $7,000 on a thermal imaging camera.
Yeah, the
those
thermals
are
are
expensive.
expensive. Yeah, the thermals are expensive.
And you know how much I got on for that camera when I sold it? $3,200.
Not bad.
You'd only get all your money back from what you lost, Paul, right?
Yep.
Don't worry, I got you, Getchy. There you go.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's a dang missed a manly man destroying something. There you go. I'll
Hey,
cut a piece of paper.
Gitchy's, I think Gitchy's leaving us. Have a good night, gentlemen.
Yep.
No,
See
I
you.
Interesting, Joe. Interesting. Never say never.
Paul, you going for coffee tonight?
Thinking about it, but I don't think so. I want to get this out of here and get the other thing up here.
Okay.
I think
Yeah, I wouldn't say never either, because I mean, it would be easy enough for DJI to, I'm sure they've already built it to whip one out and go, here you go. Although I will say, and I don't know that many people have been talking about this because it just came out, well, yesterday. There is something that may prevent them from doing a Phantom 5, even if they really wanted to. And that was what the Chinese government did yesterday. They are putting export controls on anything that can carry essentially any amount of weight to be used militarily. So DJI hasn't come out and said, so even the Mavic 3 could end up being a problem getting a hold of if depending on what those export controls are that they've put on them. And part of it is how much weight they can carry. So it may force everybody over there into the small drones, which means maybe there won't be a Phantom 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't say never, but there's just, it's more speculation. A lot of people just assume they're not going to because they dove so much into the foldable stuff, more compact.
Come
stuff.
on, given all the open source and everything that we have in 3D printing, do you not think there's not somebody out there that could 3D print something that's in that size, gut a Mavic 3 and take the boards and crap and stick it inside of one of those and make their own? 100%.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% positive because there's enough FPV shit out there. You could build your own drone with any
Oh, yeah.
airframe,
Look at this. Look at the
And you
center
can-
lifters.
and you can do it with stability too, where it flies like a DJI. You can stop
Sure.
and hover, and it has GPS, all that stuff. Yeah, anybody could do that. It's just nobody is. I mean, you could take an old, like Paul Hodges has a bunch of DJI frame, like he's got a shell.
Yeah,
You could easily take that, put your own motors in it, your own boards, and
already got
all
most.
that.
There's dual controllers on a DJI Inspire 1
Yep.
It's
with
about
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batteries, 2 controllers.
It's about the price they're going for. That must be was it the Inspire 1? Was it a version 2?
Yeah, it's a version 2.
'Cause
You
the
can tell-
first
you can
one-
tell by the legs.
Well, not only that is the first one didn't have the FPV camera on the front, so it wasn't dual controller. The first version wasn't. You could only fly with the underbelly camera. But the newer, the version 2 and the Inspire 2s and 3s, you have that front facing camera and then your underhanging camera, so you can fly with 2 separate controllers.
Here's a DJI Inspire 2.
Yeah, I think Max Air paid like $900 for his or for his Inspire 2. I don't know how the hell he found that deal, but he did. Which is why he has his.
I don't think he had. I know he has an Inspire 1. Did he buy?
Maybe
an
it was.
Inspire
Maybe it
2?
wasn't. Maybe it wasn't one.
Yeah, I know for a fact he has a 1 because I saw it at the
Okay.
second
Yeah.
drone meetup.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was flying it around.
you might be right. It might have been the one. He still got a hell of a deal. He still got a hell of a deal on it.
Yeah, if you watch eBay, they even drone nerds here in Florida, they sell them refurbished for like $1,200. They completely redo them and then resell them, and you can get
Sure.
them for about $1,200 from them.
Hey,
They
Judy.
fluctuate too. Sometimes they'll go as low as
Hey,
900.
Curtis. Hey, Curtis.
Curtis.
Yeah,
What's
they-
on sale?
I Inspire 1 for $400. No camera, no battery.
And here's
there-
the other. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there was an Inspire 1 version though that did have that front camera.
And here is the other part about the drones, right? If you spend the money on it and you're having fun with it, hallelujah.
Who cares? Yep.
Who
I would
cares?
s- I would
Hey,
still
I'm
take
not
an
gonna.
ins-
I'm not gonna complain because you're having fun. I'm glad you're having fun. The more people that are in the hobby that are having fun doing the hobby, the better.
Yeah. Use
even
it.
though I don't fly them no more, I'd still like to have an Inspire.
You
I'd
know,
still take one if I had the money.
just because you don't have a Lamborghini, as long as your little Toyota does what you needed to do and you're having fun when you're driving around, who cares? Is what it is.
And Jody said mine has low hours, 2 controllers, 5 batteries.
hmm
Yeah, cuz they had the, you can still get new aftermarket batteries for them, but they're about, I think you can get 2 of them for like $300 on Amazon. So they're still making batteries for it.
But
They've
I'll give
actually,
you. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say they've actually gone down because they were almost $600 for 2 of them about a year ago.
For everybody's talk about how good DJI is, there are some things that I look at and I just scratch my head and go, if they're so goddamn good, why aren't they doing this? And I'll give you a perfectly good example of what the fuck are they doing? Why can I not shoot panos on the 3X telephoto lens?
Hey,
Hello, it's just a mathematical calculation to stitch those pictures,
Oh,
to stitch those freaking pictures together. Where's the geniuses at DJI that I can't have shoot panos on 3X or the 7X?
never mind, they've gone back up.
It's
Jody.
simplistic mathematics
hey, Paul,
to,
did you see
to
what,
put those together.
uh,
What's
Curtis,
that? What'd you
Yeah,
say,
'cause-
Paul?
Curtis on there says, check this out. The state of Washington wants me to buy a license to recover lost crab pots. $500 each.
Is that what he gets paid, or is that a license he's got to buy?
The license you got to buy, I think, for recovering each one by the looks of it.
Oh, these
Wow.
are originals?
Like you think they'd want them out of the water. Holy mackerel.
I'll give you another one that's a head scratcher with DJI. The night mode that's on the Mavic 3 and the Air 3.
There's a 2-pack.
You can't zoom. You can't use any zoom when you're in that special mode.
See, they've gone up, Paul. Remember when we were looking at these
Yeah.
about 2 months ago?
Yep.
That's
They're
not a
only-
bad price for two.
Yeah, they were only 4 something like 2 months ago.
They
They've
were
gone back
400
up.
apiece. Yeah, 400 apiece. That's a 2-pack for
No.
$639.
Like
No,
2
but
months,
we were looking at them, Paul, and they were selling them for $429 for a 2-pack.
yeah,
Oh.
like 2 months ago they were.
Oh.
They've gone back up again now. They keep fluctuating. They go way up and then they'll come down and then they'll go way up again. But you can get a single one for like 230 something. Yeah, 261 for a single.
So, Curtis, you gonna come on here and tell us about your crab pot deal?
They must be refurbishing old ones because they're claiming these are original batteries. So they must be taking the cells out, putting new cells in there.
Well, that one was interesting because it had 6 batteries and was $1,500 with a hard case and everything, you know?
Well, I mean, it's worth it with that many batteries as long as there's not a crap ton of hours on them.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that bought those and bought a bunch of extra batteries. Like that one, matter of fact, Tammy was telling the story about the one that Max bought was about a month ago, Dominic.
Mm.
Remember she was telling the story about that?
Yeah.
The guy bought a bunch of batteries and stuff for it and flew it like once or twice and put it in his closet and it sat there for like 2 years and he never touched it. And then Max talked him down because I guess he had it on Marketplace for like a couple of weeks and Max
Mm.
kept contacting the guy throughout the couple of weeks. and kept talking him down more and more because it was just sitting there not selling. And finally the dude gave in. Because originally he wanted like 2 grand, I think, for it.
Yeah, see, there it is. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batteries, 2 controllers, the X3 camera, and the drone.
Did that one use 2 batteries? Did
No.
it fly with 2 batteries?
No, 1.
Okay.
It drops in from the top vertically.
So you didn't have the hot swap.
And how much flight time did you get? What, about 15 minutes?
About 15 minutes. Is that what you get, Paul?
Yeah, about 18 minutes maybe.
That sounds
got-
about right from what I've heard.
So you got about 45 minutes of flight with 5 batteries? Roughly? No?
Yeah, and what's nice about this big drone, if you're in a windy climate, these guys really cut the wind.
Well, I'd say an hour and 10 if you shave off the. It's never what they say it is.
Mm.
You shave about 5-7 minutes off of whatever they say the flight time is.
Paul, that's probably why I'll never get rid of my Evo 2s. As much as people go, that thing's a flying brick.
Yeah.
Holy crap, you can put that thing up in some wind that you can't put anything else up in the air. That brick will stay in the air really damn well. I flew it in that tropical storm at the beach with 35 plus steady and 40 plus gust 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, Mark, my math was off. Give me a break.
Yeah,
So anyways, can anybody tell me why we can't do panoramic photos on the 3X telephoto? I mean, it's just a mathematical calculation of where to turn the drone. Other
Yeah.
than DJI just being fucking lazy to not give it to us.
yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
It's not like it's hard. It's dumb things like that that makes me scratch my head about them sometimes.
Drone Shot says he got with the TB-48s, he got 24 minutes with his Inspire.
That was the bigger battery, right?
Yep,
'Cause there
yep,
was 2 size batteries. Yeah.
yep.
That's not bad though, for a drone that size. 24 minutes.
Well, what's impressive about the Inspire? I don't, if you've seen one take off, they're just impressive.
Well, that's why I
Mhm.
want one so bad, because they're just, you're the talk of the town, even at
When
a
they
drone
take
meetup.
off, the arms come up like that, and it's like everybody around you that sees it goes, ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, because when you're at a drone meetup, you stick out like a sore thumb with one of those.
You remember Geeks? Do you remember Geeks Vana taking his test over there in the UK? He used that Inspire to take that test for
Yeah.
for that air certification.
What,
he
you
had
actually have to
get.
take a flight test?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
Well, Paul, you had to take a flight test too, didn't you, over there in Canada?
The advanced license, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing in the UK. That's what Sean was doing. But he used an Inspire for that test. They even had him fly figure eights.
Actually, there was a silo there. He had me do an orbit around it.
They just pick a random spot and say, we're gonna do the test here, or?
It
Uh,
comes
we-
to, comes to the area.
Me and Gary, we did it at his house. The guy came to us, right? I
Okay.
Move up to Brantford, so.
I don't know if like they use the same spot every time, or if it's just
No,
whatever world situation they're in at the time. It's interesting.
Yeah, Drone Shot says it used to go, it was faster, 67 miles an hour, and then they did a firmware update. Slowed it down to 52 miles an hour.
well, gentlemen, I'm gonna take off. I want some work to do before it gets dark here. I gotta
Okay,
take
Paul,
it downstairs and then I gotta bring that other one up here and bring all the pieces up, put it together and
Justin's going on later tonight.
Is it? Oh, what's tonight? Tuesday?
Yep.
The-
Anyway, catch you later, guys.
Okay, Paul.
Later.
We'll see ya.
Fun. Bye.
Now, can you do a firmware rollback on the Inspire one though, if you wanted?
Well,
If,
that's an interesting question.
Because I know you can't do it on the newer ones.
if you have the capability, in other words, when you bring the program up, the DJI program, if it has that listed in there, it doesn't maintain that in the controller. You have to roll it back.
Well, so I'm sure people have copies of the firmware out there, but it's whether the drone lets you do it.
Yeah,
or not.
I'm sure you can, because up until about, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago, you could always roll back your firmware.
Because there's third-party sites that keep like records of firmware for different programs and different stuff that
I
you
want
can-
them to hack the Avata and give me 60 mile an hour in sports mode instead of 30 on sports mode. Right now, you can only get to 60 if you're in full manual mode. And I really want the drone hack guys to
That's
bump
must be
that,
why
bump that in sports mode.
Well,
the-
Drone
thought-
Shot says roll back one firmware. In other words, I think you can roll back up to one update.
Hmm.
But he says you can mod it with the DJI Assistant 1, so, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what program I was assuming you were gonna
Yeah.
use to do it.
The Assistant 1,
But like I said, there's also websites out there, like I said, that keep third-party websites that will keep copies of firmware for different items,
right.
which you can always go download if you're trying to, but it's whether the actual hardware allows you to do it or not. But I know the newer DJI drones, once you update, you're stuck on that firmware.
Yeah, you
can't
are
roll
now.
back. Yeah, I don't know if they ever locked the older drones from being able to do that or not. Cause I mean, that's a big loss in speed. That's what's, he said it would go to what, 55?
Hey, on the plus side, you get more flight time. Faster it goes, the less flight time you have.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's true too.
So, yeah.
But ripping a
Trade-off.
drone that size, 67 miles an hour past you is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Oh, Drone Shot says,
Yeah.
I Spike
Nice spike.
has got his modified up to, does 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so you must be able to still modify those older ones then. Without no
Hey,
problem.
drone shots. Which drone? 80. Inspire? Or Mavic 3?
I don't know if
Or something else?
I don't think the gimbals on the Mavics would be able to handle that speed though, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't know if they would either, because when we used to fly the Inspire at full speed, that baby was tilted like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why they limit the speed of a lot of the foldable drones, because I don't think the gimbals can handle over.
Because see, the
Certain.
Inspire used to hang that camera down and you just tilt it up, you know? The first Mavic,
Oh, the first Mavic. Got it. So the Mavic Pro 1 modded it to go 80 mile an hour.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it affected the gimbal at all. That speed, I'm sure it had to have.
Had to have. But you're not doing it. You're not going that speed to take the video anyways.
Oh, no.
You're just going. You're just going.
You're just
that
going to
speed
have
because
fun.
You can go that speed.
Because you
Well,
can go
that's-
that speed. Exactly.
Well, that's what I like about the Spark too, is it's not. I mean, it does take decent video, but to me, it's a funner drone just whipping it around, not really doing shit. That's,
well, you're
flying it around.
hanging on to your Spark, right?
yeah, I didn't get any bites at 300, so I just left it alone.
I mean, come on. That's what's fun about the Avata. Are you really flying the Avata to take this cinematic video? Some are. Don't get me wrong. You can do that. But for the most part, It's just about going balls to the wall, low to the ground, and just
Yep.
whipping it around, having a blast. What video get, whatever.
Well,
It's about the flying experience, not the video experience.
what's unique about the Spark too is it's not super fast by any means, but the thing turns on a fucking dime like an FPV drone. Like the way it turns is just it will go whoop and just back the
you
other
can
direction
crank
almost
it in
instantly.
any direction, and it'll go right now.
Yeah, it's just
Doesn't mean you can't do cinematic, but you crank it over, it's
Well,
there.
it only has 2 speed modes. It's got cinematic and sport, and that's it. And the cinematic, it is super slow. Like it only rolls at I think at like 4.5 miles an hour. Like it's so freaking slow when you're in the cinematic speed. But you pop it into sports mode, and it's just got some really nice speed for the size drone, and just the way it maneuvers really well.
Mark says he's got a Palladium. I don't know what that is.
Platinum.
Oh, Platinum.
Platinum.
Yeah,
Yep, and you got that right, Mike. That's why you fly FPV because you can go that fast in
Yes.
big video. But you're also not using a 3-axis gimbal neither.
no,
And that thing can't handle that kind of speeds. I mean, I'm sure you could build one that could, but it would definitely take some good engineering. for
Limited
sure.
to 99 miles an hour legally.
Oh, that's how fast any FPV pilot's ever gone.
yeah,
They've only ever gone 98.9.
No,
exactly.
99.9.
Well, no, I'm just giving them that one less mile an hour.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Just in case there's a,
Just in case.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Mike? You've never gone faster than that.
Oh my God, Night Train. Ugh. I bet he's been 130. As long as he doesn't say it.
Oh, I've seen people post some videos on YouTube where they're like 145 miles an hour.
In
and
a
it's like
dive. Yeah, I'm
it's
sure.
like an FPV video.
Yeah.
Well, you can watch some of those videos where those guys got those 6-foot drones that are built for speed, and they go out speed run them.
Mike said it, and I have never gone over 400 feet.
exactly.
So I said everybody just needs to get a boat and then just go out 12 miles and you're good. Then you can get that
Yeah.
30,000 foot shot you always wanted.
Exactly.
From international waters. Yeah.
Oh, I watched that one video. That guy went, I think, was it 12 or 1400 feet? It's an old ass video from like 11 and probably 10 or 11 years ago. And it was an old DJI quadcopter, one of the big old beefy ones they had. And I
Mhm.
think he went like 12,000 feet or something with it. And it only made it down to like, I think 4,000 or 5,000 feet when the battery ran out. And then you watch the whole video of it just falling
Yeah.
the rest of the way. But it's an old ass video. It's been on YouTube for a long time. But that was back in, the wild, wild west days where people just really were doing whatever.
What's the guy in Hawaii that used to do a lot of videos?
Dustin Dunhill, and he's
I
not
was
there
just gonna say
anymore.
He's
Dustin
not
Dunhill.
there anymore, but
Eh,
he used to push the limit on a lot of drones.
Well, his wasn't really so much
No, wings.
height. It was the
Distance.
length, distance
Yeah.
of his flights. Because he did one with the Parrot or was the Parrot wing or the Parrot wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he
Parrot
went like
wing.
freaking like 20 or 30 miles with that thing. Because he was doing the 4G LTE dongle setup. And he was using the cellular network to go from one island to the other. But those wings don't use hardly much power because they have such good lift on them.
Yeah.
You don't have to really keep the motor cranked all the time. You can actually kind of turn it off and just let it
You
coast.
kind of
for a while.
float. Yep.
So he was able to get a shit ton of range out of the thing. I thought he moved to New Mexico, Jody. I thought he got some like high paying job in New Mexico unless he moved again.
I don't know. I thought I heard somebody else say Colorado for him too.
I could be wrong. I remember he did get some, they said he got some high paying job in the lower 48 states and decided to
I don't
move.
know. I don't know that I'd have left Maui. Maui's a nice place. I have a buddy that lives out there. In fact, he knew where the park was that Dustin always flew from.
Okay, so you did go to Colorado? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought I heard New Mexico at some point.
Hmm.
They're next door to each other, so who knows?
Yeah, close enough.
Hey, maybe he went to the Four Corners and he was in all 4 states at the same time.
Let me see if I can find that video though. Oh yeah, it was this one right here. Let me see here. It was a DJI hexacopter.
Hmm.
But he went like way high. You see that?
He was trying to be an astronaut.
But yeah, it gets to a point though where the battery gives up. He's trying to get down. Well, and you gotta remember too, the battery life back then was probably fucking horrendous too.
Hmm.
You know,
No doubt.
that thing was probably really quick to get up there, but he probably spent 70-80% of the battery just to get to that height. Or, oh yeah, right here. This is where
They
the
probably
battery
used
does.
all his battery. That's when you need a parachute.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Especially on
Yeah,
that drone, as big as it was.
douche.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he went through tree limbs, it may not have crashed it too bad.
Oh, right here.
Considering how high it fell from, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, I think it was a little lower than I remembered. It was probably looked like it was a couple thousand feet, but still, yeah, it's a pretty hell of a fall.
That's a hell of a fall. So
Yeah, that's pretty crazy though. But like I said, that was back in, let's see, how old is that video? 9 years ago. So yeah, that was still kind of,
2014,
yeah, the heyday of,
no rules.
mhm.
And
Is-
here comes Curtis. Captain Nemo.
I am flabbergasted at this. So part of okay, so let me back up. We found several crab pots, and they're in very, very bad condition. Three of them to be specific. 2 of them are really, really old and have collapsed, but they both have crabs in them. Again, you're supposed to have I forget what she called it. It's biodegradable binders that hold the sides together, and over time it's supposed to wear away and collapse. But they haven't collapsed completely, so crabs can still get in. There's dead crabs in there. The other crabs are feeding on those crabs. It's called a ghost trap at this point. The other one is down there is fairly new. There's no crabs in it, and it hasn't collapsed yet. All within about 3 yards of each other, pretty close together. But because it's crab season, me and my buddy said, nah, we don't want to be seen pulling crab pots out of the water with no license, because we haven't applied for a crab license. It's $15, no big deal. So I called Fish and Game, and they said, well, you can't recover those. They're not yours. And I said, well, I understand that, but there's no buoy on them. The buoy's severed. It's gone. long gone. Boat went by, clipped the buoy. They're down there. Nobody knows where they are. I said, so what is the policy on this? They said, well, you have to have a license to recover those. And you can only recover them when it's not crab season, which I get it. Makes sense. You don't want somebody saying, oh yeah, I was recovering lost ones when he's actually out there crabbing when he's not supposed to be. So that part I understand. But to have to buy a license, and then I got the runaround after that. I was on the phone after I made that first comment, and they're supposed to call me back with further instructions and stuff. They're not used to something. They've never heard of this before. They're like, how do you have an ROV? And they think it's
Don't know what an ROV is, do they?
well, no, they know what it is, but they're thinking like the Nautilus one where it's, the size of a Volkswagen car. They're like, how do you get that in the water and stuff? And I'm like, no, it's small. It's, like 2 feet diameter. That's about it. And they're like, well, how do you pull them up? And I go, well, I got ways to get it up. That's not the issue. I go, what am I supposed to do here? I mean, this is a derelict crab pot. Can we get it out of the water? It's not doing any good. I don't want to get in trouble for doing it. But here's the thing is they said you have to have a license, but they won't tell me which license and how much it is.
Just buy all the licenses.
Well,
No.
did you request that they send an agent out so you can show them what the hell you're talking about?
I'm waiting for that phone call.
Now,
Okay.
what if you were just to go down there and cut the pods up into pieces and bring it up in pieces? Technically, you wouldn't be catching nothing.
Well, I mean, I
could
don't know how I would cut it up. I'm going to put a laser in the claw and go down there and laser it apart. And
I'll
Well, I
bet
mean,
Sam could figure it out.
Well, how are you gonna get them up anyway? You're gonna have a diver go down there, right?
no, I've got this thing that I wish I had it here. It's a U-shaped piece of metal made out of aluminum that fits inside the claw, and then you hook a line to that, and then it's got on the front of it, it's got these barn doors that only open this way. So what I do is go across it, and then when you pull back, it's hooked on.
How big are
So you
these
just-
pods?
Oh, I'm going to say they're about 4 feet in diameter
Yeah,
or
I was gonna
square.
say 4
So
feet.
they're small enough where you're gonna be able to pull them up by hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking I don't know. I was thinking like Deadliest Catch pods. I was like, the fuck are you gonna get those out of there anyway?
No, they don't have them that this is just somebody, some guy on their boat just dumped him in the water, and he had he had a buoy on him, and probably a boat came by and clipped the line, wasn't paying
All right.
attention. And believe me, this last weekend I saw a bunch of dumb boat drivers. Trust me. That's a whole new YouTube channel right there. I'm thinking about that going, whoa.
I could
Some of
just
these
see
people are-
Curtis trying to pull a pod in the boat.
Well, the other thing, Curtis, you might do is contact whoever is a crabbing company there and say, hey, we found these. Do you want to come with us? For $100, you can come and we'll pull it up for you and you can take it.
Well, there is a website. It's wdfw.wa.gov.fishing derelict, and it's a reporting line. I called that line, and you're supposed to report if you've lost. There's no penalties for reporting lost gear, and you're supposed to report lost fishing net or lost shellfish crabbing nets. So I called that and I left a message there, and I'm waiting to see if they call me back.
Okay.
I have the exact longitude, latitude. I mean, if they want to go get them, that's cool too. But I mean, it just seems kind of ridiculous to me. Again, I understand this is crabbing season, and I know they don't want people to take advantage of it and say, "Oh, I'm not crabbing, I'm recovering lost pots." I get that. So we would probably have to wait till after crabbing season is
But
over.
my point would be this: all those crabs that are going to die in those abandoned cages, that's ridiculous too.
I agree.
That's why I say they should put an agent in a truck or in a car, meet you over there. You come and show them with your ROVs what the hell you're talking about,
Mhm.
and say, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to pull them up, or what do you want?
Yeah, because to me, it seems stupid to leave them down there if just innocent crab are. killing
Especially if
themselves.
there's crabs in there.
So Mark, Mark has a good question here. He says, well, if it's just to get a crabbing license, how the hell do they know that it's yours when you bring them up? Your buoy, your crab pot, everything has to be marked with your name and address on them.
So do these crab pods not have that on there?
I don't know. I haven't pulled them up. I mean, they're covered in junk and sediment, and and seaweed over the years. I mean, they're just covered.
So they've been there a while.
Yes, they have clearly been there a while. It wasn't like, last Saturday somebody tossed it in and lost it. It's not like that. And what's ironic is it where it is only about 100 yards from where we normally go out on Les Davis Pier. So if we'd gone just a little bit further out, 6 months ago, we would have found them then. But now that we got the boat and we're jumping out there all the time, it's like, ooh, guess what? So yeah, I'm kind of surprised by the answer.
Have somebody videotape what you're doing as your defense, that you're just cleaning up the area.
Well, we
And
haven't.
They're not your crab pots. You didn't put them there. They're abandoned. That'd be like saying, Curtis, if there's a car alongside the road, it's been there for years and it's abandoned, you just leave it there?
Well, actually, probably yes. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised at their response to this. I do know that people steal other people's crab pots, and that's illegal. And I think they're kind of trying to err on the side of the people versus the crabs.
But in your case, you have to pull them up to try and identify who the hell they belong to.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we know they don't belong to me.
Yes.
So no, we haven't touched them. We filmed it. We got it on video. We haven't touched them. And then I thought, and my buddy Jim was with me, and he said, we should probably call and find out first what the legalities are. Because my first response was, let's pull them up, release the crab, and everybody's going to love us. We're saving the crab.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's why I would have handled it. Because
drag them up on shore.
When you get government involved, it gets complicated.
Well, we're in a boat, so it's not like dragging them on shore. You'd be pulling them up onto the boat.
Well, what I'm saying is, what if you emptied them out and just brought them to shore and then called Fish and Game and said, hey, we found
these down.
And then just play stupid. Be like, we let the crab out, but these things were sitting down there.
We could do that, but that would have been only one or two. I'm thinking there's, I hear all the time people talking about ghost fishing, and it's a big problem in our area. I'm sure it's a problem in any place that has using nets and crab pots, stuff like that. So I'm looking at the long-term thing.
Well, Curtis, do you have like a marine rescue or a marine division there of the police department or sheriff department or Coast Guard?
So we have this one I got transferred to three different departments when I was calling in on this. The last one deals specifically with derelict gear, and I'm waiting for a call back from them. So I don't have a complete answer for you. I'm just kind of filling you in as to what's happened up to this point. But we bought a sonar for the boat, side scan sonar, so we can actually start looking for these things and start pulling them out. I think it'd make for interesting content.
Well, I would think if you were to pull them out, let the crabs loose, pull out the equipment, and it's all derelict stuff, and then just took it ashore and then turned it over to the local police. Say, hey, we found this out in the water. We found this out in the water. We found this out in the water. And then what you do is you figure out who can you bill.
Honestly, I think you would get a lot more views on your ROV videos if you guys do start pulling out some interesting shit like that. Because people are really
that's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I thought. I mean, it's like, oh, look what we found. We rescued these crabs, toss them back in the water, videotape the whole process. I thought that would be cool too.
Like if you guys are going out to like shipwrecks, stuff like that, yeah, that's what people are gonna want to watch versus just 20 minutes of cruising.
Well, like I said earlier, we bought sonar, and so we can actually kind of map the bottoms and spend less time searching for stuff and more time on the spot itself. Like the Tacoma Narrows Bridge thing, that was easy. And we've got the longitude, latitude of a lot of these sunken ships that are down there. I showed you guys I bought that. And it's got the actual longitude, latitude of ships that are down there. So yeah, we're going to be able to go dive on these things, no problem. But there's a lot of other stuff down there we can find too with the sonar. So
Personally, Curtis, I think you made a mistake by notifying anybody.
you're probably right. But at the same time, I'm one to err on the side of caution.
Well, I can understand that, but A, you're not gonna take the crabs, sell the crabs, profit from it, whatever. And so therefore, I don't think that they've got a leg to stand on. What they're concerned with is, like you say, the crab pirates that are out there.
Yeah, that are trying to hide under this.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm
exactly.
just recovering crab pots. Yeah. I know in Japan, because I'm on the it's like Facebook in China. They have and I can't read anything, but I know in Japan that they have a season right after the crab season where boats go out and drag big treble hooks across the bottom to collect all these crab pots that guys have lost. And I'm thinking, how bad can that be? You're tearing up the bottom, dragging those things along. You're tearing up, fish habitat.
Well, I would think there'd be other departments there that would be loving the fact that you're cleaning up their mess that's at the bottom,
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Hey, Justin, just a quick side question. Somebody was asking me how hot the water is in Florida.
What's the water temperature?
101 was down there by Key West.
101?
Yeah,
The
it's
last
been
one I saw on the
ridiculous.
news.
I saw one about 2 weeks ago. It was 98, but it's gone up a
It
couple
went up.
degrees.
Yeah.
So, and they're generally concerned about the coral down there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not only that, if El Nino decides to stop blocking its natural barricade of us, oh man, that's like the perfect storm for insane hurricanes. But that's if that stops.
It's not gonna. It's only gonna get stronger. They're saying it's gonna get stronger through winter time. Hurricane season's gonna be long over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's creating a natural barrier at the moment for our area. So
Yeah,
we just
no,
gotta hope.
100%.
We just gotta hope it stays like they said it is.
That
Mark
one
says
out in
it-
the middle went from 70% to 30% this morning.
Ed Hassick wanted to know how deep the crab pots are down.
So the ones that I found were 72 feet, the first two, and the other one was 76 feet.
Okay. So between 70 and 80 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Drone shots. Yeah, I'll take a look at that just after we get off the show here. Mark says, if you get the crab lice, and surely you can keep the crabs instead of letting them out. I don't think he meant crab lice. I think that was autofill, maybe. Mark, huh? You would think that if you pull out a derelict crab pot and there's legal crab that are in there, it looks like they'd let you keep them. But again, this is like common sense stuff. This is not our government. I digress. Everybody's speechless now.
Yeah.
Did I ruin your show?
You're having way too much fun with that ROV, damn it.
I know.
Hey, Curtis, did you get that?
That's a good thing.
Did you get that email I sent you?
The Facebook posting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
Come on, when are you gonna put your rid on your ROV, damn it? An airplane, you gotta, those airplanes gotta know you're 80 feet underwater.
Was that a pretty fair price? I'm not looking to buy, but I just didn't know the price of them. Or
So that's one of the ones that I have, and they don't make that one anymore. So the value is dropping.
okay,
The new ones have a better resolution camera. The white one that I have, the Evo, has a better resolution camera, has more powerful lights.
okay.
It would be like if you owned a Mavic 2 and you wanted to go back to a Mavic. And the Mavic 2 is less expensive.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
$700 more, and you got the new Evo. So is it a good deal? Yeah, if you're getting into it for the first time. I mean, I kind of thought about it for a second for spare parts, but I'd rather spend the extra and get something even better.
That's an interesting point, Curtis, because when I was looking, my first drone was the Air 2. And after I couldn't shoot fireworks after dark with the Air 2, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get something that I can. And my choice was the Evo 2 Pro with the 1-inch sensor, or the Mavic 2 Pro with the 1-inch sensor, right?
Right.
And so I kind of did the same thing. I went with the newer drone just because it was newer. Right? You're going to get parts for, you're going to be able to get parts and accessories for longer than the older drone kind of thing.
So drone shots, this is a phone that I found underwater. I can't get it to charge, so I can't figure out whose it is.
Well, the question I have, can't
even
you
if I-
take the card out of it and
There is
plug
no
that
card.
into
It's
something else?
it's an iPhone. There's nothing in it.
Oh,
It's
there's no
on board.
card.
It's on board storage.
Oh,
So most of the iPhone stuff uses cloud storage now. 'Cause
Yeah, it's
iPhone-
stored in both places,
Oh, okay. So
phone and cloud.
is what now? How?
plus they're password protected. So
You know what it's good for, Curtis?
for bringing on to the Paul Murray show and saying, look what I found.
Turning in to get money off on your next phone.
Yeah.
Trade in.
They'll as a trade-in, they'll take anything. It doesn't have to work.
I would imagine you could go to the iPhone store and they probably tell you all about it.
Possibly.
Well, you've been taking them to the phone ATMs and getting money anyway, right?
Some of them they will take, some of them they won't. They'll probably take this one because this one's in pretty good shape.
Oh,
They-
anything iPhone 10 or newer, you'll probably get money for.
Yeah, but some of my they won't take it.
Your buddy Sam has literally found guns that
Oh, I
they
found
turned
guns.
over to the cop that they found underwater.
I've done that.
Well, that was like, Metro PCS here in Florida. They were doing this program for a while where you could trade in any phone and they'd give you this $300 Samsung for free, right?
Yep.
It was the
Doesn't
A
make any
series.
difference whether it's working or not.
And well, it didn't matter what kind of phone it was. So people were going to Walmart and they were buying the $10 track flip phones and they'd come in and buy those. And then they would go over to Metro and they would turn that in with a little, $10 card on it. So it had service. And then they'd get their $300 Samsung A series phone for free. And they were doing that we had people coming in for months buying those for that. That's all they didn't care what kind of phone it was, how expensive it was, if it was flip or not. And yeah, we had people coming in every day buying those out.
Ed said he'd have brought it up and had an ice crab dinner.
If you like Red Rock crab, yeah, you'd be good to go. The problem with Red Rock crab is they're a smaller crab and they don't have as much crab meat in them, but it is a sweeter crab than like the Dungeness crab. Dungeness crab is fairly decent size, but it's got a lot of crab meat in it. That's why everybody likes the Dungeness crab.
Yeah, I want an Alaskan crab where it's like pulling a turkey leg out of each leg.
Yeah.
You got those big old fat
King
long legs like
crab,
that.
they're called.
Yeah, the king crabs, yeah. Alaskan king crabs.
Well, if you Google it,
Massive.
there's Norway has a problem with their crabs because they haven't let people crab for years, and they've just got massive amounts of crab under the ice.
So what are they opening up a bunch of crabbing up there to help take the population down or what?
So that show, what is that? The Deadliest Catch thing. A lot of those
Yeah.
guys are going over there right now because the crab
You can't
season's
fish in
shut down
Alaska.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't fish up here in the Bering Sea.
That's good for them then. Gives them more
Yeah.
content.
Well, they have to. That's a long ways to go. But the guy that lives here in Seattle, the northern, whatever it's called, he's fixing to move to Norway, go over there and just stay over there because he can't fish here.
Right now they can go through the Antarctic because it's not frozen.
Right. Mark, should have a serial number inside. Are you talking about the
Yeah.
crab pot, Mark?
I
No,
think
he's
you're talking
talking about your phone.
Oh, the phone. Oh,
There should be an
Yeah,
army
but the-
number on there.
the problem is yeah, but the problem is Apple's not gonna give you any information on customers, even if you did find the phone. They're not gonna give you any personal information to get a hold of the person anyway, and they're not gonna contact them.
yeah, AZ. Yeah, I do like eating crabs. In fact, my wife's got me a crab cake sandwich made for dinner.
Yeah, crabs is a bit of a work doing crab legs. Especially if they're little small ones, you don't get much out of them for the amount of work you put in cracking them open.
And I cannot do the crab butter. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cracking crabs with live crabs. So you put the face on the edge of a table and you pop it and it pops the head and the guts and everything out. And you rip the legs off and then you take it in the center and you pop it open or you peel it open, one of the two. And inside of it's this what they call crab butter. And a lot of guys will boil the crab legs, pull the meat out, and they'll dip it in that butter. But it's like this bitter stuff, and it's like, holy crap! No thanks.
I'll just take regular butter, thank you.
That'd be like
Yeah.
eating the guts out of a deer, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, some of these old timers, Yeah,
King crab is the shit though. Like I said, one of those legs is like a turkey leg though, coming off one of those. It's worth you get a lot of meat out of those.
the joys of ROV. I'm breaking new ground here. And everybody that the people that I've talked to so far they were like several times, you have what? What is it you have? How are you doing this? You're a diver? No. I have an ROV.
Still too new. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
I've thought about them.
I figured by the end of this season, I will, I'll have contacted everybody and they will know everything about them. And then they'll start making rules.
Well, Curtis, Rod said he's thought about it. If you were to advise him, if he was to get into ROV, what should he buy or stay away from?
That
So
one he
there's-
showed the last time, that's like
Dory.
$8,000. That would be a good one.
Stay away from the dory.
Yeah, don't get the dory. I would say, well, first of all, I've got chasing and I've got the QYC stuff. And there's two lines of thought. There's the guy let's equate this to drones. There's a guy who's never bought a drone and he looks at all the different prices of drones and he goes, I don't know if I can fly this thing. I don't want to crash it. So I don't want to spend a lot of money. He goes out and he buys, a DJI Air or whatever.
That's what I did. I bought the Air 2 because I didn't want to spend the money on the Mavic 2
And
Pro.
then what happens right after that? You realize, holy hell, this is easy.
Yeah.
Now you turn around and you go spend money on something more expensive.
Yep.
So the thing I tell people when they ask me about this is I say, just figure out what you want to do. I mean, do you just want to take photos and videos? Then don't buy anything with a claw on it. That'll save you almost $1,000 right there.
Yeah,
if
I'm
you-
not picking anything up. I would definitely do it purely just for photos and videos.
So for you, I would say get the Evo because it has a wider field of view. You do get that GoPro fisheye look, but if you use Premiere Pro or even DaVinci, they have that lens correction tool that will
Sure.
straighten everything out.
Yeah.
And when you're down there, you're able to see a lot more.
Yeah,
Learn to turn your lights on and off. Like when you're going down to look at something and it's big, like when we were down there looking at the bridge that collapsed. If you have the lights on, all you're going to see is what's in front of you. You're not going to see all the expanse that's going over there. You turn the lights off because what it does is it lights up all the particulate in front of you, all the particulate that's in the water.
Yeah.
So you turn those lights off and suddenly you're able to see all this other stuff. So that's the two key things right there when you get out there. And then tether management is so important. We've brought, since we put two in the water at the same time, we really try to go out with three guys. One guy's going to operate the boat and take care of tether management. And now that we have this sonar thing, he's also going to take care of that while the other two guys are focusing on diving. and figuring out. And one guy is going to follow me or I'm going to follow him. We'll take turns and then always try to capture that secondary view. Because that gives you, if I pull up on an octopus, you can see the octopus. But if he pulls up to the side of me and you see the ROV and the octopus in scale, it gives you a sense of scale.
Sure.
And that's usually what most of my comments are about.
I'd never go out on a boat. So for me, it'd be something along the ocean or along the shore around a lake, or in this case, the hot springs or potentially the St. John's River, because
you
the
wanna be very careful.
manatees going up down the river too.
You want to be very careful launching from shore, because if you launch from shore,
Tree limbs and all kinds of other
well, no,
crap.
not the tree limbs. It's all the sediment in the bottom. When you start those motors, it sucks all that dirt
Sucks
through the
all that up.
motors, and you start
Yeah.
grinding up on those props.
Gotcha.
Now, unlike you get a nick in an aerial prop, an aerial drone, that's a bad thing right off the bat. This is a bad thing over time. So far, I've replaced one full set of props, and it's not that expensive. But if you just don't do that, to begin with, you want to put it in at least about 4 foot of water before you turn those motors on.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they float, so tossing it in the water is not a big deal. It doesn't just necessarily sink to the bottom. Well, okay, I
Sure.
take that back. The more expensive ones will sink, just because they're a heavier ROV. They haven't made them 100% neutrally buoyant. I don't know why they've done that, but yeah, the white one, the one that's out right now, yeah, that one will float.
Oh,
So yeah, toss it out. Make sure you're in about 4 feet of water. Start the motors. So there's a calibrations. There's a magnetometer calibration and a compass calibration you do, just like you do the calibration dance with your drone, how you hold it and you rotate it
Sure.
around. You do all that. But when it gets in the water, it takes that information and it will spin when you first turn on the motors, just like it'll do this and then settle on what's face up. And then it'll say good to dive, and you just punch good to dive. If it goes upside down, you're like, okay, I need to do this again because I didn't do it right.
Mm-hmm.
I've only had that happen once.
yeah, I've seen this guy on YouTube before, Jody.
I'm Brandon Jordan. I travel all around and find
Oh yeah, I
stuff
know this guy.
underwater. Did you lose something? Well, don't worry. I'll probably find it. We'll see you at the search party with Brandon Jordan. That's me. Welcome to the
So he's got his own show now, huh?
Party.
So how does he figure out the phones though? They all keep talking about they plug it in, and
I have no idea how they're figuring that out, because
there's him and
Apple-
another guy that both do this, and they're on each other's show every once in a while. And somehow or another they get the phone started and they figure out whose they are. And sometimes I wonder, did they just plant them down there? Because sometimes they'll turn them on. It's like, really? I've not had one turn on yet.
it's possible that's what they could be doing for the show. It's hard to say because there's so much of these so-called reality shows. They stage so much shit because in reality, if you follow these guys around, 99% of the time it's going to be boring ass content.
Yeah.
And so they got to make shit up in order to make it more interesting. Unless they have some kind of, now that they have a show with a big corporation, it's very possible they could have some kind of setup with Apple and Android that they find the information for them and tell them. But for the
Yes.
average person,
I'm gonna jump
All right.
off, guys.
later
I'll
on.
see y'all
Hey,
later.
Rod, take care.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to head out too. So
See, I told you I come on the show and I bore everybody to death, Paul.
Later,
no,
Dominic.
no, it's getting to that
Oh, it's
time of day.
that time of day. We've been on now for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
But for a standard person like you, though, they're not going to Apple. You're not going to take a phone into the Apple store and they're not going to just give you all the information of the owner
Yeah.
and say, "Oh yeah, this is the person that owned it and this is their address." If you want to, no, they're not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
If
I know.
anything, they're just going to tell you they'll take the phone, and they
Right.
may contact the person if they feel like it. But they're probably just going to take the phone for free as recycling. They're probably
Right.
not going to give you anything for it.
Exactly. And they'll take and recycle it themselves and get money out of it.
Right. So you're better off just keep taking the phones to the damn recycle center or
Mhm.
to the recycling machine and getting rid of them.
I'm thinking about making a narrow, but a big aquarium with not actual fish in it and all the stuff I find put in there.
Now, how far is that machine from you that you take it to? Is it local or?
Oh, it's the Walmart.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
local.
wait until you get like 30, 40 phones built up and then go in there
Yeah.
all at one time.
That's
And
what
unload
I
it.
did last time. But I found more phones since then. So
Actually,
Okay,
you know,
Dominic, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
later.
Bye,
Actually,
Dom.
you know what's better than rice, Jody,
Thanks, Dominic.
is actually go like I did and go on Amazon and buy a couple, so I bought like 1,000 of those little, moisture packs.
Yeah.
And I got a ice chest full of them that are full like this deep of them. And that's where I keep all my filament for my 3D printer to keep all the moisture out.
Yeah.
And so if you get yourself a big ice chest and fill it up with those and throw them in there, those things will suck out the moisture 10 times better than rice will. I actually put my daughter's iPhone in there because she dropped it in the sink the other day, and you could see some water went up in the screen. And I put it down in there and it sat down in there for a day and a half. And we pulled it out and it was all gone out of the screen, and it seemed to work fine after that. So, but all the water that was up under the screen was gone. It sucked all the water out of there. But they're relatively cheap. You can get like 200 or 300 of those packs for like $10. You buy $30, $40 worth of them, you can fill up an ice chest halfway. And you can throw shit in there like that. If you really want to try to turn it on.
Well, you know, we're sitting here. I might as well plug it in and see if it charges because it's been sitting for a couple weeks.
Yeah, the silicon gel. Yeah, that's what I got, David.
Nothing?
Oh, you're gonna have to probably give it a second.
Yeah. But this one's pretty well dried out. We'll see if it charges.
See here, let me go to Amazon real quick. So
I'll plug this one in next.
Whoa.
Oh man, this one's nasty. But you can see there's some components in there. Oh, you can't really see it right there.
Yeah.
There's some kind of card in there.
well, like right here, you can get 100 of them for $9. And you can also get the big, huge, giant ones too. They have ones that are like the size of your hand. And you get like 6 or 7 of those for like 10 or $12. But yeah, you put a shit ton of those inside of an ice chest, and there you go. Everything I've used them for to do that, they've worked great.
Peeling all this
Yeah,
stuff off of this one,
that's-
seeing what I can find.
That's true too, Mike. They got the big hanging silicon bags you can buy too. That the people put in closets and stuff. Yeah, but I bought like $40 worth of those silicon packs and I got a shit ton of them. And then every time I get one in something, like if I get something and it has one in there, I'll just lift the lid up and toss it in there. Oh, that thing is freaking corroded.
Yeah. Here's the QC card. It survived.
Wow.
So Justin, are you going on tonight?
I don't know. What is tonight anyway? Today's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. I don't think there's anybody else that's on.
Billy.
Yeah, I think Tuesday's kind of the dead day.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people on.
Philly Drone Life's on.
Yeah, I think he's, let me see. That show's no longer around. You got Kai, Jim's show's no longer around. Yeah, you got 3 shows that are on, but 2 of them I've never even watched. Well, Kai, I've watched his a couple times, Lone Star. Then you got Philly, and then I don't know, Rotor Talk Live, is that still around?
I don't know anybody that goes there, but it might be.
Cause all
A bunch of-
the other 3 shows aren't around anymore. They don't
I get
even
tired
do
of shows talking about drones they don't have.
Yeah, so 3 of those shows aren't even in existence anymore. Or at least on this list, they're not. One of them, he only goes on like every couple months, he might do a live show.
Who's
I
that?
don't really count that. Matty, Drone World.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't go on very often.
He's on, he seems like he's on a lot of other people's shows.
They
You know, the
have
one that
him,
I wish would go on earlier is Bill. He's on Sunday nights.
drone
but he's-
reviewer.
No. Uncle Bill's Toys.
Uncle Bill.
Oh, yeah, cause he doesn't go
Yeah,
on
but-
till 10.
Yeah, he's on too late for me. I got to get up Monday morning and go to work. He seems to have a lot of fun, but yeah, he's on too late for me.
Yeah, nobody hardly, there's what?
Making some progress.
Yeah, cause 2 of the shows that used to be on Sunday night, Mel and Half Chrome, I don't know who they are. But yeah, the only other one that's on at nighttime would be Drone Seekers, but they're in the afternoon. Nighttime for them because they're in the UK. Sunday night with those guys, which I don't even think they're doing the Sunday show anymore. They only do the Wednesday one now.
Sunday was Lawrence, but
Yeah, he hasn't posted nothing in 9 months on his show, on his channel. And his last live show was 9 months ago. I was just asking Dominic about that yesterday. So yeah, it's only really Bill and
in Philly.
on Sundays.
No, on tonight. I thought you were talking about tonight.
No, I'm talking about Sundays. It's really
Oh.
only Bill, to be honest with you.
Bill
I mean,
the
if you're
drone.
counting, no, Uncle Bill on Sundays.
Oh, Bill.
He's the only one on Sunday nights, really, because the other shows don't exist anymore. They're not doing them because Mel hasn't done a show in God knows how long.
Whatever happened to Mel?
He pops in occasionally on random shows, but yeah, he hasn't been around. He's kind of just, I don't know.
Doing his own thing.
I know that shop he was working at shut down. He was, I think, a manager for a hobby shop, but you know, like most hobby shops, they ended up shutting down. And I think he moved again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Bill's kind of got his own little niche on Sundays. Well, and the thing is not a lot of people pick Sundays because a lot of people work on Mondays, so. I'm surprised as many people go to his show that late on Sundays as they do, to be honest with you.
There's the computer chip.
Oh, there you go.
Looking
Yeah,
like there's an SD card here, but I can't seem to get to it.
Yeah, fucking Mark stays up till 6 a.m. in the morning over in the UK watching Bill's show. But he's also retired too, so he can do that.
I should be there pretty soon. I'm 62.
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna
Oh.
call it.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Yeah, I forgot Wedge and Big. He wasn't on that list. That was an older list.
Wedge and who?
Wedge and Big, Paul.
Oh, Wedge and Big.
Wedge and Big who? Yeah, Justin's kind of lucky that way. He doesn't have to worry about a job. He's rich.
Yeah, I'm retired at 37.
Oh, this is I just peeled the back off. This is a Motorola.
Well, Sarah just got another, what, 2% raise at work? Or 3% raise.
Where she work?
She works for, oh shit, not Baycare Medical. It's a huge ass medical company here in Florida.
Hmm.
They own a bunch of hospitals and
He's an accountant. Counting.
no, not accounting. She
Billing?
does all their referral department.
Oh, referrals. Okay.
Yeah. She actually was the start of their referral department because they didn't actually have that department. And they stole her from Bond Clinic and offered her $5 more an hour to come over to their company and start up their referral program. And she's gotten like 4 or 5 raises in just a year's time.
There's the camera.
Yeah.
This is her like 5th raise in a year. Every time they give her a raise, it's like 40, 50 cents. She started off, I think at 16. Now this was your 4th raise, right? Yeah, she started off at 16, now she's up to 18.
Where would the SD card slot be on a Motorola?
Down along the side someplace.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
What's up, Sean Geek Savannah? How's it going?
Hey, Geek Savannah. Sean is here.
On his way to bed.
On his way to bed.
Yeah, shit, it's what? 5 hours ahead?
Yeah, it's 12:35 there.
We should give Sean all this information about the crab pot thing and let him do some deep investigating to why we can't remove derelict crab pots. It's un-American, I tell you.
Yeah, Sarah deals with all that insurance shit. That shit is so confusing. I give it to anybody who does insurance. Deals with that crap. That's one of the most confusing things to understand is insurance, how it works.
I don't know why I didn't think of trying to clean this off. I just thought it was not worth it. But now I'm trying to get to this SD card without tearing it up.
Well, if anything, use a old toothbrush and some more rubbing alcohol.
Still nothing on this one.
It's not, it's done then. It would have turned on by now. It would only took about 30 seconds to get enough power to turn the screen on, let you know it was charging. If it hasn't turned on by now, it's probably done for. Unless you forgot to plug the cable in.
No, I got the cable plugged in. Why would I forget that?
Yeah, if it's plugged in and everything, it should have turned on by now. At least gave you a charging.
So I think that's the SD card slot right there.
Yep, looks like it.
Was that an iPhone?
No, it's a Motorola.
Oh yeah, it's either SD or SIM card slot, or it might be both, depending on if it has expandable
Pretty
storage or
wide.
not. Because some of the new Androids like mine don't have expandable storage anymore. They only have a SIM card slot, and now they're even getting rid of the SIM card slots now. Like my phone has a physical SIM card number that you put when you put a SIM card in it, but it also has a virtual SIM card number. So technically it's a dual SIM.
Well, that's damn un-American.
But yeah, they're getting rid of this. They'll end up getting rid of the SIM card trays pretty soon too. And you're not going to have any kind of access into the phone at all. There'd be no expandable storage, no SIM card tray, nothing.
We're getting there.
God, that thing is jacked the fuck up. Ain't it? Did the back pop off of it?
So the back was gone.
Huh.
So they might have taken the SIM card out and thrown it in the water.
That is true. Could be like Pablo Escobar's burner phone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if the back pops off on a phone these days, that means it's not an expensive phone. Because none of the expensive high-end flagship phones, the backs don't come off of them anymore.
What do you got?
What in the
Here.
hell?
Well, it's a card.
Oh no, it's the rubber
It's
from the door.
It's the spring cover.
It's all stretched out. Now he's trying to see if there's a SIM card or a memory card in it.
AZ said he's sure that Curtis.
Minor
Could fix-
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's minor damage.
Yeah, this will buff right out. Just give me a few more minutes, guys. I got this.
Yeah, most likely that's probably about $100, $200 phone. Because none of the flagship phones, the backs come off of them anymore.
Yeah,
can't-
but you know, some guys got some porn on here or something. That's weird.
Well, either it was a removable back or it's separated. The glass did at some point.
Come on, focus.
Yeah, I can't see that. It's not focusing.
Yeah, it's not focusing. There we
Oh,
go.
there it goes. Good
There's
God,
like there's like a wall there.
that's jacked the hell up. You're
Yeah.
better off sticking a screwdriver in there and just prying it up, seeing if there's anything in there. Yeah, there you go.
That's what I've been doing.
He said buff right out. Yeah, right, LOL. Sounds like a challenge. Yeah, it's like one of those,
I just peeled that off.
it's like a restoration project. There'd be nothing original to that.
Yeah, we're getting down further. Boy, this is just exciting, compelling TV, isn't it? Okay, we're going to peel the back off this and see if we can approach from the back.
Curtis, did anything?
All right, I got the back off. There's the back side. Curtis, did anything come out of that guy who phoned up to say you found his drone? I told you haven't lost one. Type that out again, Mark. I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
Well, didn't you have a guy that you thought it was his drone, but he said he didn't? No, didn't you say that was his brother's drone and he lied to his brother about it or something?
So I had two guys in my local Facebook group say they lost when they saw that I was diving out there. They said they lost their drones, and they're FPV drones with GoPros. So I thought, oh yeah, worth it to go find it. But they're both a little loopy.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not even sure they know where they lost it. All right, I found what looks like, if you can look right here, see, that looks like where the SD card would go.
Yeah, but there's nothing there though.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Yeah. That's where the little door would have went in.
Yeah. Unless it's underneath that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off.
Okay, gang, we're gonna close it down.
All right.
I'll keep you guys updated with what happens.
Good luck, Curtis.
All right, we'll expect to see that phone working when we come back.
Well, not only that, but about the crab pots.
I want a full restoration of that phone.
There's the battery. Got the battery out.
All right,
Yeah, make sure you poke the battery with a sharp object to
their
test
project, yeah.
it.
Well,
And
you
then-
know that
And then plug it in.
you know that's already dissipated.
Okay,
Well,
everybody. Hey, thanks for being here. We'll see all of you again later. Justin may be on, what, in about an hour?
This
I
is,
don't know.
okay, this is where we
we'll
left.
see.
I got that peeled up. That's what we got.